Good evening, hockey fans, and welcome to the Houston Fieldhouse for the 37th annual Big Red Freakout. As tonight's game features the Brown Bears and, of course, the Engineers of RPI. Perilous Garris here with Teo Canadilla. Just about a few minutes away from the start of this game, and as you can see right there, the Bears come in 9-10-3 overall. They're 6-8-1 in ECAC hockey play. The Engineers are 11-12-4, 5-7-3 in the league. RPI coming off a real tough loss yesterday in overtime to Yale, 3-2. Looking to put that behind them and trying to carry on with the later stages of this season, Teo.
Yeah, Perry, that was just a tough loss. They were up by a goal at one point, and they were up by a goal twice and actually lost the lead both times. And just a couple of poor penalties, I think, taken by the Engineers really hurt them in the end. But, obviously there's a lot of energy, a lot of folks in the building today. I think they should be able to take the energy in the building and turn it into a win against a pretty good Brown team. Yeah,
this Big Red Freakout was sold out yesterday. Expecting close to 5,000 fans here. And most of them already in the building. Both bands are here, both for their RPI and for Brown. So it's going to be very loud. It already is loud in this building. RPI, of course, wearing their road red uniforms, as is the custom on Big Red Freakout. The Bears are wearing their road tan uniforms. As we're going to throw it down to RPI PA announcer Al Shibley for the starting lineups for tonight's game.
Starting in the goal, number 35, Tyler Steele. On defense, number 20, Dennis Robertson. And right defense, number 7, Jake Goldberg. The starting forwards for Brown at left wing, number 26, Mike Jola. At center for Brown, number 27, Mark DeClario. And at right wing, number 28, Nick Clappin. The rest of the Brown Bears, their head coach is Brendan Witt. And now, let's make time starting lineup for the Engineers of RPI. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise, and before the national anthems, please join us in a moment of silence as we remember Bobby Fox, class of 1955. Mr. Fox was the goaltender of the 54 NCAA Division I championship team and a member of the Rensselaer Athletics Hall of Fame. He passed away on January 25th. Thank you. Please remain standing, remove your hats as the RPI Pep Band will play the national anthem of Canada. please remain standing as Miss Carolina Carissy will sing the national anthem of the United States of America.
Just about set for puck drop here on the 37th annual Big Red Freakout. It's the Engineers and Bears coming up here on RPI TV. Once again, I'm Perry Lascaris, joined by Teo Camadilla. Your broadcasters for tonight's game. The big one for the Engineers to try and stay in the race, try to stay and keep up with the teams in that middle ground in ECAC hockey play.
Yeah, that's right, Perry. Brown and RPI actually both sitting at 13 points right now, so that's just on the cusp of being in the playoffs, so obviously they'll look for a little fight for a little wiggle room. See a quick look at the starting goaltenders here. Diebold in net. He's played pretty much every game for the Engineers, 10, 11, and 4, the .910 save percentage. And Tyler Steele, a freshman for Brown, who has been taken over for the injured Marco DiFilippo. And he's been standing tall for the Brown Bears, as Coach Whitted told us earlier. So we'll see how they play.
Yeah, Taya, we talked to Brown head coach Brendan Whitted before tonight's game. He's really been in there, and his stats, he says, goals against average have been a little bit inflated due to some flare-up early on in the season. He's been their go-to guy down the stretch here, of course, for the Bears.
Yeah, that's what he mentioned, and obviously being a freshman, it's a pretty tough spot to be in as a starting goaltender. But 15 games is a lot of good experience, and he's got a winning record this season. So obviously he's handling it pretty well.
Bit of a false start on. We're ready to go. Drop the puck as it'll be dumped in by the Bears. Stopped up by Diebold. There's Guy LeBoeuf with his first touch of the puck up the near wall for Higgs, moving it out to center. Curtis Leonard for Higgs. He'll carry in, has a man far side. He likes to play it around. Finds Zaleski. Mike Zaleski's been hot. 4 goals in his last 4. He was suspended for the 1 game, that being against Clarkson, a 3-0 loss. Haggerty picks up, turns and shoots, pad save, rebound, they score! There's that man again. Mike Zaleski gives RPI an early lead.
Yeah, Perry, you just mentioned him. He scored a shorthanded goal last night to put the Engineers up by a goal, and right there, just a quick shot in the neutral zone by Ryan Haggerty, and Steele kicks out a rebound, and Zaleski's right there to pick it up and put it home. So just a picture-perfect start for the Engineers. Couldn't ask for any better than that.
Exactly what you're looking for if you're Haggerty there. Throwing it off the pad of the goaltender. A tight angle shot for Zaleski.
Yeah, that's really an easy play for a player of this caliber. It's just a really intelligent shot by Haggerty. Made him kick the puck right to Zaleski's feet.
Haggerty with the helper on Zaleski's 8th of the year, and a good start for RPI. They had a good start last night as well. See if they can carry it on as Luke Karate dumps it in. Karate, the junior out of Cheshire, Connecticut, as it comes free to him, takes a shot, deflects off the top of the crossbar and out of play.
Well, good energy from the Engineers early. They've been in the brown end the whole time, attacking the cream-colored shirts there. So hopefully they keep the pressure on here. Brown, I don't think has had it in the Engineer end yet. So Bubella, DeVito, Neal line will try and keep the pressure on him.
Well, we knew the Engineers would come out flying after last night's loss, trying to get back in the win column. Here's Guy LeBeouf. He'll take a shot, blockered away by the goaltender Steele. Milos Bubella behind the net, looking to work. He'll fire it off a skate. It was blocked. Now Jimmy DeVito. His game has improved throughout his season here. DeVito making his 20th appearance for the Engineers, a goal and 3 assists for him. He has worked up the board, shot off a skate. Rebound, DeVito fanned on it. Brown trying to clear the zone, can't do so. Neal flipped one through, was deflected, and Leonard will whack it deep. Bears haven't seemingly touched the puck. Now they have it. It's Matt Laredo, one of the assistant captains, and he can't get it out of the zone. It's kept in by Bubella. Engineers get a partial change as the Bears will start things out. Tipped into the RPI zone. Bo Dolan, the senior out of St. Paul, Minnesota, picks it up. Fires it all the way down, and they will blow this one dead for icing. So not even 2 minutes in, Engineers with a 1-goal lead and a 2-0 shot on goal advantage.
Yeah, Brown will get a little break here as they get an offensive zone faceoff, but just a lot of good pressure, a lot of smart chips, and Brown looks like they're just a little sluggish to start here, coming off a tough loss last night against Union.
Face-off to the left of the RPI junior netminder, Scott Diebold out of Buffalo, New York. Poking for Schrader, and now McGowan into the Bears zone. McGowan working in front, looking for Miller. He was knocked down, couldn't get the shot away. Bears back the other direction. Lappin into the zone. Tied up neatly there by Dolan, who sweeps it away. This will be kept in at the point by Horahan, who this Brown team is very shorthanded defensively. The shot from the far point comes in. That's from Dennis Robertson, the most experienced blue liner for the Bears, and the captain. Handoff near circle. Horahan, who's really a forward playing on the blue line. There's a shot. Saved by Diebold. Picked up by Dolan. He'll backhand it out to center.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier, we talked to Coach, and Horahan is an extra forward playing back at D right now for the Brown Bears.
Shot deep again by Brown. They'll say it was deflected. Picked up by Karate. He'll play it to the wall for Rogic, who nearly gave it away. Now Johnny Rogic back on it. For Travis Fulton, not in the lineup last night. He replaces Wood this evening. That being freshman Jake Wood, with the sophomore Fulton here. There's a whistle and a hand pass will be called, so a face-off all the way down the ice. Engineers with an early 1-0 lead here, Teo. Just over 4 minutes into the 37th Big Red Freakout. The first period has been a good one for the Engineers so far this year.
Yeah, that's definitely right, Perry. Unfortunately, it's plagued them a few times in the other big event this season, the blackout game. They gave up a 2-goal lead to Harvard, and last night, like I said, they gave up a couple of leads to Yale. So just good starts, but finishing hasn't been their strong point yet.
Thrown through the top of the crease, but no danger. It's picked up by Fulton. Fulton with some speed to the neutral zone. He'll get it across the line. Rogic falls down. It'll be controlled by the Bears out to center. The clearance made by Kyle Kramer. That'll leave the ice surface. And we'll get a face-off here. And the Engineers, with that goal, have now scored 36 first-period goals, allowing just 16. So the first period hasn't been the issue. Engineers have been outscored in the second period by 13 goals, and they're even in the third.
Yeah, you know, just like we were saying, the numbers don't exactly lie on that one. So hopefully they get another 1 or 2 here and then can hang on to that lead.
Just onside was Higgs. Wraps it around behind for Haggerty. Looking to backhand it in front. It was knocked away. LeBeouf fires it off the backboard for Zaleski, the goal scorer. Picked away by Matt Wall. Trying to get out of the zone near side. Pinching up the boards was LeBeouf. Around for Niclario. And now a chance to clear. Jola to center. Finds Lappin rather. He'll take a slapper right on. And well positioned is Diebold to see that slapper. He holds on to it.
Yeah, a little better shift from the first line, the Jola Niclario Lappin line for the Brown Bears. Better defense. They kept the middle safe, kept the puck to the edges, and made a nice breakout. Got a shot on goal.
Brown playing shorthanded here, at least in terms of number of defenders. They're just skating with 5, and it's all due to injury. This is the only active players, as Coach Whittick said. They're playing with everyone that's healthy right now, which only includes 5 defensemen. LeBeuf around for McGowan. Clears out to center. Controlled there by Hourahan, the senior from Linfield, Mass. Who's taking some time on the blue line, but really a forward, as we talked about. He's an extra forward in the lineup for Brown. Good break up there by the Bears. Trying to take a shot from a tight angle. That's gloved. A little wrist shot taken that time. Looks like it was Robertson, the senior defenseman.
Got a little better pressure here just in that little sequence, but that shot was pretty well from the outside. RPI is doing a good job keeping him to the perimeter so far, making it easy for Scott Diebold.
Mike Zaleski has the Engineers on top here, the New Hartford, New York native, scoring his 8th of the year. An even strength goal has RPI on top. Here's Jimmy DeVito as it pinned up against the wall. Bears trying to help it back to the point. It's a bouncing puck. Shot was blocked by Karate. Now Bubella to the line, but not in, as it's broken up by Brown. Here's Jake Goldberg. Cross-ice pass connects into the zone. Comes Harlow. Harlow down low, throws it through everybody. Picked up near side by Goldberg. Engineers come away with it. It's Bubella out of Banska Bystrica, Slovakia. As this one's thrown towards the net, but wide. It'll be gloved by Steele anyway. Looked like Neal was just trying to dump the puck in, but out to grab it was the freshman netminder.
Yeah, Steele just trying to get a little stoppage there so his team can regroup. Both teams starting to open up the play a little bit in the neutral zone. As you saw, they just went end-to-end with a couple of nice clean breaks through the neutral zone, so I think both teams are starting to settle in okay here, Terry.
Big crowd on hand. The curtains are pushed back here at the Houston Fieldhouse, and you know when the curtains are back, it means there's a lot of people in the building, got to make room. There's a player tripped up in the neutral zone, but fair play, say the officials. Engineers have the puck. Curtis Leonard spinning around in his own zone for LeBeuf. Buff dumps in. Zaleski behind for Higgs. Haggerty tried to give it back. All the way to the point for LeBeuf, who fires it right back in. Kept in behind by Garnet Hathaway. And an outlet pass connects to the RPI red line. Into the zone they come. Laredo on the move. Poke checked by LeBeuf. LeBeuf back on it for Leonard. Helping it further for Ryan Haggerty. Picked up an assist on RPI's goal so far. Assist number 13 on the year. Now Zaleski fakes a shot. Looks to cycle. That was broken up. And now Lappin has it for Brown. Out to center they come. Robertson joins the play. Eventually just dumped deep by Niclario. To the point, Robertson. Hourahan. Shot was blocked by Higgs. Again, twisting was Jola. And now Nick Lappin trying to get around Rajic. Lappin all the way around. To the circle he goes. Wrists one. That one's blocked by Haggerty. And he'll just scoop it in the air out to center to relieve the pressure. Maybe icing. It will be. Stoppage here. 13:32 to go first period. RPI with a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, that's not a poor idea from Haggerty. Just a little chip trying to relieve some pressure. He just had a little too much mustard on it. But good team defense from the Engineers in that last sequence. Karate had a block earlier, and there were 2 blocks right in a row there. One from Higgs and one from Haggerty. So they're shutting down the middle of the ice and holding the Brown Bears at bay here.
Defensive zone draw for the Engineers upcoming. They'll stack 3 on the inside hash marks. One cleanly to Dolan. And that one will hop off the glass into the netting. We'll have to do it again. So they did say it was deflected or hit glass, so they will be allowed to change, that being the Engineers. So that benefits them there.
Yeah, he just got lucky. I think the puck flipped on him a little bit. He just got lucky that it caught the glass, because if it does go straight out, it's not a penalty like in the National Hockey League, but you are not allowed to get a line change. But they got fresh legs out there now.
Face-off pushed towards the net, smothered by Diebold. He'll hold on to it there.
Looks like the Brown Bears are conferencing here. They're going to try and get a little different setup. Matt Harlow is here off of the wall a little bit.
And in the end, it goes for naught as the Engineers win the draw once again. Fulton will skate it out. Chopped at by Rajic. Steele, the goaltender, will Played around, kept in by the RPI captain, Tenorti. Rossi out of Finland will get on the puck now for Brown. Outlet pass tipped on by Kramer. Race for the puck. Parker Reno's going to get it, the freshman for the defenseman for the Engineers. And now Rogic. Karate. A menacing figure. Luke Karate at 6'5", 250 pounds. Gets it ahead to Rogic, who dumps in. Shots are 4-2 Brown early on. As the errant outlet pass is intercepted by the Engineers. They'll head back the other way. Needing a touch up there was Tenorti. He does. Puck's out at center anyway. As they scrap forward along the boards, Mark Miller comes away with it. Had a big tying goal against St. Lawrence last weekend, allowing RPI to come back and win that game 4-3. Still stick handling is Miller. Penalty coming up on Brown. Extra skater on is Haggerty. Shot by LaBeouf is blockered away. Still loose for Schrader. To the point for LaBeouf, and this one, his fans hold their breath for a second. That one went by LaBeouf, but luckily not towards the empty RPI net. And still no touch of the puck for the Bears. Swatted at there, and now finally it will be touched after McGowan just swept it towards the zone. We're going to get our first penalty of the game. It'll go on Brown.
Yeah, it looks like, I can't see the number from here. Tyler Wood, the freshman defenseman out of Manchester, Massachusetts, is going to go for hook. He had Mark Miller tied up pretty good down there below the Brown Bear goal line.
Miller trying to skate through that stick check and got caught maybe hooking a little bit too much. That's the call. Power play time for the Engineers. 18% on the season. They're 18 out of 100. That's easy math for you. As Craig Bokenfor has it for Zaleski. To Haggerty. Looking for a shot. Rips one high off the glass. Bokenfor trying to find it. Neal does. Plays it off for Higgs. Throws it through. Hits a skate. It'll be controlled by Zaleski at the point. Zaleski for Bokenfor, who has a big shot. Still looking for his first collegiate goal is Bokenfor. Haggerty takes a wrister. That one goes wide. You can tell Steele didn't know where it was. He just froze. But the shot went wide. Kept in at the point by Bokenfor. Neal trying to wrap it around. Zaleski comes below the goal line to help out. Now Bokenfor. Near side, Haggerty. Wrists one. That one's blocked. Rebound sits in the crease and it'll be smothered by Steele. The Engineers stick it home. The whistle had gone.
Yeah, he clearly had that covered up and just let it go once the whistle went. A few extracurriculars there, nothing too serious. Good little power play setup though. I think 4 forwards and 1 D-man for the Engineers, running sort of a high umbrella and trying to key off of Haggerty, as you see here. He was the one who eventually took the shot, caught some traffic in front, but good job by Tyler Steele to find it and jump on it for the Brown Bears.
Face-off coming here with 1:06 to go on the power play. First of the game for either team. McGowan actually pushes that one towards goal. It's sticked aside by Steele. Shot all the way down the ice. Diebold will come out with the paddle of his stick to slow it up, eventually plays it around. Leonard claims it for RPI. So start their power play breakout. Bo Dolan's going to leave it for Leonard. Now DeVito stick handling, lost it. The Engineers are onside. Centering pass, looking for Tenorti. It skipped right under his stick. McGowan can't get by Robertson, who clears once more. Dolan for Leonard. Now McGowan to center. 2-on-3 to the line. This one's deflected up into the netting. We'll get a stoppage here. 12 seconds to go on the power play as we're nearing the midway point of this first period.
Yeah, Perry, good work from that first unit from RPI, but that unit that was just on the ice there, not a lot of luck. Just 2 pretty poor zone entries, one right in a row, one guy trying to stick handle over the blue, and then somebody came wide in there and just tried to launch one in, and it got tipped out. But they got offensive zone draw and see what they could do with it.
Puck sat there for a second. Can't get it out. Haggerty looking to feed it in front. It was deflected. Penalty about to expire. Maybe one more chance here for RPI. Zaleski on the carry. Have to be wary of the man Wood coming out. They go behind the net. Smart play. Free to the point, however, for Bokenfor. Penalty is over. RPI 0 for 1 on the man advantage. Comes out in front. A one-timer save. Rebound. Another shot pops in the air. Loose at the edge of the crease, and the Bears are going to clear it out. They're going to say hand pass. And a lot of bodies in front of that Brown goal. Haggerty, it looked like, had a couple of cracks at it. Maybe he and Higgs with shots, but standing his ground there was Steele.
Yeah, Steele just down in his butterfly. Probably having trouble finding the puck, but luckily it found him first. Haggerty with a point-blank chance there right into him, and then another chance. Looked like Higgs fired it right at him, and then the Brown defenseman just swats it away, which you cannot do.
Leonard filters it into the corner. Now Miller. Miller trying to find McGowan. That one's broken up. And now chopped out to center ice, and they'll say it hit someone in the bench. So the face-off, I believe, will come in the neutral zone. That's where they're pointing.
Yeah, once it's all said and done with that power play, looks like the Engineers just picked up one shot on it, maybe two. Two at the end there. Two definite shots on goal there at the end, so I think maybe just one shot on the power play. Obviously coming from that first unit, like I mentioned.
LeBeuf for Leonard, who rings it in. Takes a hop off the wall. McGowan has it in his equipment. He'll pick it up. McGowan tied his stick handle away, taken away by Hurahan. And now carried out. Here comes Laredo. That one's broken up nicely by LeBeuf. And now Miller. Outlet pass, doesn't connect. It's skipped by Schrader. Into the zone once again. That was Hathaway. And now Neal gets it back from Miller. Matt Neal on the move. And a bit of a point drought. Does have 22 on the year. Neal walking his way in. Likes to go behind the net. Does here. Fired it towards the Brown cage. That was broken up. Sits in the corner. 3 Bears over there. 2 of them go down with Neal. And Hurahan carries ahead. Hurahan dumping in. Poked at by DeVito. But he can't control. Kept in by Hurahan, who hurries off for a change. Dolan runs a shoulder into his man. That's Jola. Puck underneath Karate. He doesn't know where it is. Gets some help from Bubella. Now DeVito. To center. Threw it right to Wall, who fires it right back in. Karate for Neal. Dolan up the wall to DeVito. Still DeVito stick handling. Lost the puck on the poke check. And now Jola back the other direction. Jola playing in just his 13th game. Playing on that top line with the 2 scorers, Niclario and Lappin. Most dangerous group for this Brown team. So we're 7.5 to go now in a first period. RPI scoring very early on. There's a shot from the point, and it rolls up right into the midsection of Diebold. He'll hold on to it.
Yeah, pretty good sequence there from the Brown Bears. That power play, obviously, the whole play was focused down in the Brown end, but lately it's been all Scott Diebold as the Engineers have been relying on him to make some stops because Brown's been putting a lot of pressure on him since that first couple of shifts here in the first period.
Face off. Rogic will play it behind. Diving poke play by Leonard as there's a man collapsing. That was Joe Prescott. Fulton stick handles to center, where he finds Tenorti, who shoots it in. Fulton playing with a lot of energy here. Back to the point for LeBeuf. That will deflect into the crowd. We'll have a stoppage here. Fulton playing in just his 6th game this year and 22nd of his collegiate career. The sophomore, he brings that when he's in the game here for RPI. He brings a lot of energy and some speed.
Yeah, definitely. He's a little guy, but he definitely moves his feet well, and he certainly was there, just getting in, getting the puck deep, get pressure on, and then a good block from the Brown winger there, but keeping pressure on the Brown Bears here so far.
In the corner, Haggerty will fire it right back in as it came to him. That one skips by LeBeuf and down the ice. Haggerty's going to race for it. It will not have the legs for icing. Haggerty to classmate Curtis Leonard. Both of them juniors. Haggerty now tied up, trying to kick it to himself. Brown forecheck, late arriving, but they're doing the job here. Forcing the turnover. There's a hit thrown in the corner by LeBeuf. And Zaleski comes free with it for Haggerty. Back to Zaleski. Takes a couple looks, fires it in front, and it pops out in front of Steele. He'll cover. It was a centering pass that I believe hit the Brown defenseman. And he kind of got tangled with his goaltender. Luckily for the Bears, it fell right in front of Steele.
Yeah, it looked like Steele just put his stick out to try and get in the way of the pass, and you're right, Perry, he did deflect it just right into his own defenseman, but thankfully it dropped right in front of him, and he jumped on it pretty quick, as he has been with those loose pucks so far in this first period.
Dolan off the draw for Fulton. He'll take a wrister. That one's blocked. Played towards the blue line, kept in again by Dolan. Tenorti using that big body to shield the puck. Cycles it for Fulton. Fulton back to Tenorti. Good find. Tenorti shoots. He scores!
Yeah, Perry, right when you mentioned Travis Fulton there making a good shift for himself. He worked the puck off the wall, got a pass, made a pass, and Matt Tenorti just absolutely kicks the top corner at Tyler Steele. Not much you could do about that. That was just a blast of a wrist shot. Shakes off the defenseman and just lets one go into the top corner.
Goal number 5 on the year for the captain, Matt Tenorti, out of Severna Park, Maryland. Engineers have a 2-0 lead, and once again it's another first period goal for RPI. Engineers get it deep, nearly kept in by Dolan. It rolls right by him. Diebold out to play it. There's a couple of Bears flying at him, and now Engineers will carry in. Miller try to make a move around Wall. That's broken up. Robertson will skate away with it for the Bears. Pass was behind the intended target. That'll allow the Engineers to send it back the other way. Credit assist to Fulton and Dolan. On RPI's second goal, now a shot by Bubella is blocked by a player out in front. Skated out to center by Davey Middleton, freshman out of Novi, Michigan. We'll have a whistle here.
Yeah, it looks like an ice, Perry. Pretty close there, Matt Harlow, obviously digging to try and beat it out, but the chip was just a little bit too far on. So it'll come back, no change for the Brown Bears, and it'll come back in front of Tyler Steele. Looks like just off to his right.
Quick reset for you. Mike Zaleski scored at 34 seconds from Ryan Haggerty and Brock Higgs. Then just now was Matt Tenorti from Fulton and Dolan. Shot in by Brown. Craig Bokenfour back to get it. Also a member of the varsity golf team at RPI is Bokenfour. Now into the zone. DeVito poked away from Bokenfour. Now a race the other way. Jacobson into the zone. Pulls it back and pulled it back too far. Lost the puck, but trailing him was Rossi. Rossi to the point. Goldberg. Rister. Saved by Diebold. Rebound still loose. And we're going to whistle here. And the puck didn't seem like it was covered, but maybe Diebold got the benefit of an early whistle there.
Yeah, Perry, I thought he might have been calling a penalty for a second, but Diebold definitely did reach out for that puck and got nothing. So probably shouldn't have been a whistle, like you say, a little bit of a lucky break for the Engineers. But Brown still in the offensive zone, applying some pressure here.
Shooting, and that was a tight angle shot blocked by a pad. Rossi, who's playing in just his 6th game for the Bears due to this injury spell that the Bears have been cast under. Into the zone, offside. That pass was just a little bit too far out in front of Haggerty, and he ended up entering the zone. That's a tough call for a linesman. You have the player's feet in one spot and the puck hitting the line almost simultaneously there.
Yeah, Perry, but, he's standing right on top of the play. You had to think he had a pretty good idea of what was going on. And most of the time, if you have to skate into the zone and get a pass that came from out of the zone, you're going to be offside. So probably made the right call.
Good point. Shot 6-5 Brown here. 2-0 is the score. The Engineers on top. A pair of even strength goals. Leonard Hands off to Guy LeBoeuf, the senior, out of West Palm Beach, Florida. Tyler Wood. Outlet pass was broken up. Shot off a body by LeBoeuf. Trying to find it there is Niclario. He's the team's point leader. Mark Niclario, the sophomore from Milford, Connecticut. 15 goals, 15 assists. Now a delayed penalty coming up on RPI. Touched by the Engineers. They'll say not enough. Now Zaleski gets a stick on it. Now we'll get the whistle.
Yeah, Higgs is going to go. It looks like just a little too much after the play there. Niclario lost the puck in his feet on the near wall here. Haggerty came in and put a hit on him, and then Niclario still wasn't sure where the puck was, and Higgs came in and threw another check at him. So definitely, I think looks like he's going to get a double minor. Oh. All right, I was totally wrong. Sorry about that. I guess,
it's all right.
I guess I would be a different style of referee. Too many men on the ice. I guess somebody jumped, and they'll send one person to the box. And it's going to have to be
Coach
Higgs.
Appert's having a few words here.
Yeah, and again, you know, he'll talk to the officials, as a lot of coaches like to do, but in my experience, most officials can count to 5 and count to 6. So.
Oh, okay. That's where the. So you're right.
So I was right. So they're sending for too many men, and then Higgs also coming in late on Niclario. They're going to go down 2 men for a whole 2 minutes here. See what the Brown power play can do on this little 5-on-3.
Setting up is Robertson. Down low they go. Lamacchia. Robertson. Lamacchia. Back to Robertson. Lamacchia one-timer. That one was blocked. Picked up behind by Lappin. Lamacchia now. Robertson on the near side. Now Lamacchia. Robertson. Dishes it over. Laredo. One-timer Robertson. He scores through the 5-hole. Kind of a change up there as Diebold seemed to have gotten over in time with the puck squirted through his legs. It's going to be a 5-on-3 power play goal for Brown. They cut the lead to 2-1.
Yeah, Perry, I'm not sure if that didn't hit Leonard. I think he might have just put his stick out and gotten terribly unlucky. We'll get a look at it here. Yeah, it did. Leonard stuck his hand out when he went down to block the shot, and he just perfectly redirected the puck right down between Diebold's legs, and there wasn't anything to do about that. So still a minute and 26 on the 5-on-4 for the Brown Bears. So gotten one back and still got a good chunk of time here to try and get the second one.
Well, one of those penalties has to come off the board. That's what the delay is for. And delay is now over. They've removed the Higgs penalty. So Jimmy DeVito still in the box serving the too many men call. It's now a 5-on-4 penalty for another minute 20 seconds or so. Laredo into the zone, walking right in. He gets bottled up by LeBoeuf, and the Engineers clear. Matt Neal doing the job. Robertson, a draft pick of the Carolina Panthers out of Fort St. John, British Columbia, gets the goal. His 6th of the year. He's the top scoring blue liner for Brown. 6 goals, 9 assists for 16 points. Now Lappin into the zone. Takes a shot. That one's saved by Diebold. Fighting for it in the corner. Karate's there with Dolan for RPI. Laredo, is there for Brown, and coming away with it is Niclario. He takes a hit from Dolan. Whips it down low. Laredo up top. Lamacchia. Robertson. It's the same unit out there for the entire power play for Brown. Shot through traffic and they score. No, they're waving it off. Man in the crease, I believe, is going to be the call. Face-off coming outside the zone. That was waved off immediately. Looked like it was Lappin, the man standing in front of Scott Diebold. We'll have another look at that.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure if it was Lappin or Niclario, but anyways, Lappin is pretty visibly arguing.
That was tight. You're right. It was
Niclario.
27.
He had just backed in a little too far, and obviously you can see the official right there, seeing what's happening. And if in the offensive zone, if the puck is not there in the crease, you cannot be as an offensive player. So I'm sure that's the right call in that case. No goal, which is too bad. The puck just kind of floated in there. I'm sure that Diebold had no idea. Probably had something to do with the fellow in his crease.
Well, now Brendan Whittet,
the Engineers.
The head coach in his 5th year with the Bears, is going to have a little bit of discussion here. Whether or not this could be reviewed. I thought it could, but
yeah, Perry,
they're not
sure.
looking at it. So we're going to have to stick with the fact that they just either don't want to or can't, which I don't believe is the right. No, they're going to look at it, which I thought would be the case. I thought they'd look at it right away, but I don't think they have to.
Yeah, so we'll see. Get a little look at the video. We just got a couple decent looks at it, and it's a borderline call. Everybody's moving around. I'm pretty sure the rule is that you can't be parked in the crease, but you can skate through it. So as we mentioned, there's Coach Brendan Whittet. He's in the brown jacket and the blue shirt.
From the angles I've seen, Taylor, it looks like a goal. Just my gut feeling is it looks like a goal. And I would not be surprised if they changed the call here.
Yeah, me either. He was right on the edge of the crease, making a good play. Obviously, setting the screen there, and it worked on Diebold. So, and it did look like he was keeping his feet moving. He just sort of stopped right as the puck came, and I agree with you. I'm not 100% sure if he was in the crease.
I haven't seen an angle that is definitive. That's the case that helps RPI in this case, is that there's no definitive video that shows him in or out of the crease when the shot went in. So maybe that benefits RPI in the fact that the original call was no goal.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, there he is, and there's just close enough to Diebold, I guess, is the ruling there. He was a fraction of his skate. The heel of his skate was in the crease, and so they're not going to change the call. And I guess I'll change my mind too. Of course, a no goal there. So still a power play for another 12 seconds. That view was pretty good. The last one we saw, the top down. As LaBeouf will try to wrap it out, get some help from Higgs, who fires it down. Penalty expires. We're back to 5-a-side. One power play goal came on the 5-on-3 for Brown. It was Dennis Robertson from Laredo and Lamakia. Engineers have it. Dolan. Zaleski for Haggerty. Minute 17 to go in the first. Engineers up 2-1. There's a wrist shot by Haggerty. Hits the skate of the defenseman up into the netting. We'll have a stoppage.
Got a good little breakout there through the neutral zone from the Zaleski, Haggerty, Higgs line, but a good stick. Strong play from the Brown defenseman there. Just to deflect the puck out of play, and it'll come out to Tyler Steele's left.
Zaleski on the draw here with Laredo. Make it Lamakia, rather. Not a lot of shots in this first period that have found at least the net. There's a one-timer there. Haggerty rebound, stuck on goal. Steele makes another save. Just as I say that, it's 2 in a row for the Engineers. Shots now 9-7 in favor of Brown, in fact. As we're now under a minute to go. Gloved at by Higgs. That should be a hand pass. They wave it off. Now Higgs will glove it to himself. That's legal. Kicked at, but not controlled by Hathaway. Shot deep by Prizeback, and that'll be on goal. Excuse me. It'll be held onto by Diebold.
Yeah, and that register another shot on goals from outside the blue line, but Engineers have done a pretty good job. They've given up 10 shots, but they've done a pretty good job so far of keeping those shots to the perimeter. And like you say, Steele with 2 really big saves in that last sequence. First save out in the butterfly, and then diving across his crease to make the next save. So he's doing a good job for the Brown Bears so far.
Face off one behind the Engineer King. Miller for Milos Babella. A little bit of speed into the zone. Tried to stick handle around one man. Couldn't do it. Miller can't keep it in. Now Leonard. Cross ice for Schrader. Moving it up the wall. It's picked off by Goldberg. 19 seconds left in the first. Robertson. Goldberg. Back to Robertson. Hits the linesman. Engineers take over anyway. LeBeau. Tipped into the zone by Miller with 2. And that will end the first period. Engineers take a 2-0 lead. Brown comes back with a power play goal to make it 2-1 after one, Teo. A good start for RPI. They've had good starts. It obviously remains to be seen how the Engineers can play the final 2 periods of this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Jumped out to a quick 2-goal lead, obviously, as in the first 30, 40 seconds of the game. They jumped out to a 1-goal lead. Just taking advantage of their opportunities, you know. And unfortunately, they gave up the penalty kill goal there at the end with 2 bad penalties, but they've been see if they can stand tall here in the second period, which has been their worst thus far.
Thanks, Teo. We're going to step aside momentarily. We'll be back with RPI sophomore Mike Zaleski. He'll be down ice level in just a few moments. You're watching live coverage of the 37th annual Big Red Freakout here on RPI TV.
Presentation between the first and second period.
One word to reinvent education. One word to pioneer new concepts. One word to improve lives. One heritage. One vision. One university. One word changes everything. Rensselaer.
Upon further inspection of our viewership data, we found that there really are a lot of similarities between humans and guinea pigs. Maybe they're not quite that different. They both eat, they both sleep, and they both watch Engineers hockey live on RPI TV.
Yeah, with the score here being 1-2, what does the team have to do to get more goals and even bring this lead further ahead?
I think we just got to keep getting pucks deep, getting possession down in their end, grind them down, and just keep going to the net hard. I think if we keep ending up there, pucks will bounce our way and we'll find the net.
Yeah, with that 1 period away, what's going to be the big message in the locker room as you head in?
I think just to regroup and keep playing aggressive. I think we kind of got it back on our heels a little bit at the end there, and I think we just need to keep going their way and playing their end.
All right, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks.
You're watching Engineers Hockey live on RPI TV. Are we good?
In the NCAA tournament against Providence, number 11, Pete Russell from the class of 66. The Pete's workhorse backside to play every game in goal. Number 1, Bill Sack from the class of 65. From Minneapolis, number 5, Wayne Siverston, class of 66. Number 9, originally from Leaside, Ontario, Bob Strawn from the class of 65. From Minneapolis, number 12, Pete Thompson from the class of 65. And in Islington, Ontario, native number 7, Bruce Tinsdall, also class of 65. gentlemen, here they are, the members of the 63-64 Road-to-Core men's hockey team. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you, gentlemen. Hey, now we direct your attention to the ice here at the Zamboni door, where you see that beautiful brand new Honda. And we have a puck shooting contest tonight. Someone has a chance to win the grand prize of a one-year lease on that all-new 2014 Honda Fit. Tonight's contestant, please welcome Wade Abbott. Wade will have 3 shots from center ice to win the one-year lease on the all-new 2014 Honda Fit, courtesy of Wexler Honda 770 Houston Road in Troy. You ready to win? Let's give him some encouragement. All he's got to do is put it through that center hole in the shooting board, and he's got the one-year lease on the Honda Fit. Oh! You can't come much closer to that. 2 more tries, here we go, Wade.
Freakout.
Well, first of all, to watch our athletes is always a thrill. But, you know, this is like an intergenerational thing. We have the hockey alums, we have other alums, we have our current students, people in the community, faculty. So it's really the whole community, and that's what I really like about it.
And speaking of the students, the student athletes out on the ice, the engineers, really exemplifying what the RPI athletics is all about and their work in the classroom. What's the biggest thing for you about them in the classroom?
Well, the fact that they are scholars and they're athletes. They're serious about the game, they're serious about ice hockey, but they're very serious about their work, and that's why they do so well. And we're very proud of them.
And this year, with Sochi just starting up, the RPI is represented this year in the Olympic Games. What excites you for you?
Well, to have Matthias lying there is really a thrill. It's too bad we don't have a little RPI there, but we're very proud of him. But it shows the quality of our program and the quality of the young men who come here.
And do you have any message, I guess, for alumni watching from around even the country, maybe even around the world, who may be watching this Big Red Freakout, being hockey fans or just love their school?
Well, thank you for watching. Thank you for being so supportive. Tweet us, and you see what we're all about. Thank you very much.
And finally, Dr. Jackson, other events going on here. I know you're probably been around the campus here, a lot of alumni events going on. Tell us a little bit about what you've done so far today, I guess.
Well, mainly I've been greeting alums, talking with them, talking about their experiences here. They've been very impressed with what they see. But what they tell me is what really impresses them are our students, our young people. But they're really thrilled with the new academic programs and with the changes, the physical changes to the campus.
Engineers are on top here, 2-1. Is that really the most important thing so far as the hockey game goes?
Well, as someone says, it doesn't matter if you win or lose as long as you win.
Thanks for coming, Dr. Jackson.
Thank you very much.
That was RPI 18th President Dr. Shirley Ann Jackson. We'll be back with more here from the Houston Fieldhouse.
And Ryan Drake, proud supporters of RPI Athletics.
Other sports that I'm good at, I played a lot growing up, so I guess I'm decent at a couple others. I played football, lacrosse, and track and field growing up. So
I haven't really played any other sports other than hockey. When I was younger, I played soccer. I was pretty good at it, but it was just for fun.
In high school, I played lacrosse and football.
Ping pong. I'd like to think I'm good at ping pong.
Other sports that I play, roller hockey in the summers. My buddies and I get together and we join a league.
Another sport I play is poker. I want to be on the WP Tour one day. I placed in the final 100 of a 2,500-man tournament.
I was playing tennis when I was younger, so I'm really good at that. And I always like to play soccer.
Yeah, I like to play golf in the summer with my buddies.
Actually, I'm really, really, really good at Frisbee.
My favorite part of RPI off the ice would just be hanging out with the guys, getting to know everyone, and building a good team camaraderie.
Probably watching the Quidditch matches that go on outside the rink. They're a regular thing almost weekly, and I just love cheering for Gryffindor.
Favorite part of RPI off the ice is when Perry runs trivia night.
My favorite part of RPI off the ice would have to be Ben & Jerry's at the Union. You know, after a hard day, you can always count on Cherry Garcia to pick me back up.
My favorite part of RPI off the ice is Sunday Swim Club with Milos Bubella and Mike Zaleski.
My favorite part of RPI off the ice would be the Commons Dining Hall.
Hi, I'm Brock Higgs, and you're watching Engineers Hockey Live on RPI TV.
Hey everybody, back here live at the Houston Fieldhouse. We're on ice level with RPI Vice President of Student Life, Dr. Timothy Sams. And Dr. Sams, thanks for joining us. A big initiative for the school has been class. Can you explain as briefly as you can? I know it's not the easiest thing to explain what class is.
Well, first of all, class makes us unique among STEM institutions in that it commits us to a residential college experience for all of our students that says that we're going to have a seamless experience for our students that move from the classroom and the laboratory into the residential facility. We also are doing at the same time is committing ourselves to developing the whole student and preparing them for global impact. That means that the same amount of energy we put into providing the best education in the classroom, we also put that same level of energy into developing our students and to develop what I like to call, or what's commonly called, EQ, emotional quotient.
And class, which has really started a couple of years ago, how has it really evolved for you, and what have you seen the last year or so?
Well, over the past year, we've added community as part of our 5, now 6 growth themes. Those are the areas we really focus in on: personal, professional development, cultural development, community and university, and leadership. The thing about community is it's often referred to as come in unity, right? And if you look at this event right here, this is a whole lot of unity. People have come together decked out in their red to cheer our awesome team on. And I can't think of any better event than this freakout, than this moment, and that principle, that added key growth area to our class structure.
And it's not just varsity athletes and stuff, it's also clubs and things. We can hear a club going on right now, and you're actually watching this game on one of RPI's clubs, RPI TV, but the pep band, they're very much in force here this evening. Talk a little about the clubs and how they kind of help this class system.
Well, first of all, our pep band has always been integral to keeping our spirits high, keeping us engaged, and rooting us to victory. We're an institution that has about 70% of our student bodies engage in athletics, and a significant number of those are in intramurals. We're also an institution with over 200 clubs and organizations. That's a significant number of clubs and organizations, and a significant number of those are highly engaged. What it represents is our students are well-rounded. Many of our students participate in more than 3 or 4 clubs actively. Our students are busy. Our students are engaged, very intelligent, and when you put those kinds of students to work, you've got to keep a robust set of activities for our students to be engaged, and it's part of our Rensselaer way.
And finally, Dr. Sams, events like this are really kind of the icing on the cake, of course, for you, for the administration. Just have everybody out together. What's your favorite part of a freakout?
The energy. Look at it, man. I mean, my son came, and he couldn't wait. He was bubbling. And when you walk around this field house, when you see everybody again decked out in red, the energy. And, it's really important to create opportunities for our students especially that are memorable for them. This is one of those. Students 15, 20 years from now will look upon the Freakout and say that's one of the most important moments of their college career. That's why we do this.
Thanks, Dr. Sams, for stopping by between periods.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Dr. Sams here with us between periods. We'll be back with more of the 37th Big Red Freakout from the Houston Fieldhouse on RPI TV.
Least favorite training activity would definitely be running.
Probably hand cleans or running.
Well, my least favorite training activity is definitely running. It's probably the worst thing that you could do to me.
So my least favorite would have to be shuttles for sure.
My least favorite dryland activity is the plate run. Running 2 miles with 45-pound plates on your back. It's not fun.
Sure, everybody agrees with this, is the plate run.
The plate run, I'm sure everyone will mention this today. It's a pretty obvious one.
And my least favorite would be the plate run.
Least favorite training activity, I'm going to go with the majority and say it's the plate run.
My least favorite training activity would be the one-arm overhead barbell one-legged squats with a reach.
Dumbbell rear foot elevated squat.
My least favorite training activity would have to be Zerchers. And my least favorite training activity would be running.
I had a brother who played hockey. He was pretty good. And my dad used to play hockey too. I couldn't tell you who's better, but I got him in size, I know that.
My dad played hockey and still does, and that's how I got into it.
My parents didn't even know about hockey or play hockey. Just us kids. My brother plays for the Vancouver Canucks, and my sister also plays, and she probably is the best.
Not much of an athletic family. The only hockey player.
My dad actually played for St. Mary's University out in Halifax, and I'd say we're about the same.
My dad played college hockey as well, but only in Canada. And my actual older sister played competitive hockey up until she was 20, and then went off to school and had to stop. But I'm going to have to give that one to my dad, kind of just with experience. I'll say he's the best.
My grandfather played a little bit with the Montreal Canadiens, and my dad just played junior B. Let's say I'm the up-and-coming.
My dad played pro baseball, so he doesn't count. My father played hockey, played professional in Germany.
My sister Danielle and my dad both play hockey. I'd have to say that my sister Danielle is probably the best out of us all. She's a pretty natural athlete.
This is Luke Karate, and you're watching the Big Red Freakout live on RPI TV.
Back here live at the Houston Fieldhouse, the 37th Big Red Freakout. Engineers overall 19-8-5 in this game. Terry Lascaris here, joined by Teo Camadilla. Stats through one, Teo.
Thanks, Perry. Shots are 10-7 on goal for Brown. Obviously, RPI had the better in the goals category. 2 power plays for Brown. Obviously, they converted on one on the 5-on-3 and did not convert on the second one. Face-offs 19-10 RPI, so probably a little bit of an advantage in puck possession, but it hasn't really translated into goals, but maybe not quite into the number of shots that they were hoping to accumulate in one period.
Engineers early on this year were one of the top teams when it came to shooting percentage, that being shots they take turning into goals, and that's been the case here. 2 out of 7 have gone in. Haggerty from the point rips one. It deflected wide. Zaleski hooked just a bit by Lappin. And now a clearance out to center, rolling puck, and Curtis Leonard's going to get there. Leonard out of Napanee, Ontario, plays it back for LeBuff. LeBuff behind Haggerty. Lappin's there. Lappin tied up now by the senior defenseman. Moving it out. It'll be controlled by Leonard. A third goal here for RPI would be big in the second period. They were unable to get a third goal yesterday, as they shoot it in. And it'll be carried into the zone. Hathaway lost the puck. It'll be covered up by Scott Diebold. And it'll be held on to. Face-off coming to the left of Scott Diebold, and we are very lucky to have the newest member of the RPI Ring of Honor, Jerry Knightley. His number 18 now hangs in the rafters. Jerry, thanks for joining us this evening.
Oh, great. Nice to be here. Thank you.
Jerry, you and your 1963-64 team honored between periods. Talk a little bit about that experience, and of course last night as well, being put into the Ring of Honor. As picked up by DeVito. Move it into the corner. DeVito now tied up and now kneels on it. Now Bubella. Taken over by the Bears. And sorry, Jerry, what was that like last night and tonight?
Oh, it's been quite an experience for sure. I mean, it's a real honor to be in the RPI Ring of Honor with all those great hockey players, for sure. And also being here with my teammates from the 64 Final Four team. It's been a real thrill. We had a great bunch of guys, and obviously we had some terrific success working together.
What was your most memorable point of that run you guys had back in the 64?
It was probably in the ECAC final when we were playing in Boston. There was a round-robin tournament between Providence, St. Lawrence, Clarkson, and ourselves, and it came down to the very last game. Providence was already in. The second team yet to be chosen. It was between us and Clarkson, and we had to beat them in the last game. And after they thumped us badly up in Potsdam about a month earlier, but we came out ahead, and that was a real thrill.
Knightley, Jerry, a two-time All-American, and back then, I know you guys played a lot of ice time. I know there's only 15 guys in your team, you said, at one point?
Well, we had 15, but we played mostly with 10. Some games with 13, but that was it. It was sort of two lines and three defensemen and a goalie, and we had a third line that played periodically. So, yeah, we got a lot of ice time.
What was the rink like back then? You guys played here at the Houston Fieldhouse.
Yeah, it was basically the same as it is now, except there were more pillars in the.
That's right.
Yeah,
they moved those out of there, so you could actually see.
Yeah. And we had screens. We had no glass. It was all wire mesh, so you didn't get a chance to play the puck off the glass like we do today. So it was a little bit different that way, but otherwise pretty much the same.
What do you remember most about, I guess, your teammates and the guys you played with?
Well, just great bunch of guys. We come from different parts of basically two countries, Canada and the U.S. We get to know each other real well because we spent so much time together. Basically we became family, and we have lifelong friendships now and we have reunions every year, a couple of years, and get together a lot. So really a lot of good things.
As a big hit was thrown by Luke Karate. They didn't hit like that back in the day, did they?
I'm sorry.
They didn't hit like they did. Like Karate just threw a check there.
Yeah. I'd say yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
They threw it around a little bit? What with the pads, of course.
No, the one thing that was different, though, is you couldn't body check in the offensive zone.
Wow.
Yeah, you could only body check on your own side of the red line. And so if you body checked on the offensive zone, you got a penalty.
Huh.
So that was a little bit different. But when you had a grudge against someone, you waited for them to cross the red line.
That is spectacular. Stood up in his own zone, but now a shot coming and a save by Diebold. He holds on. Big stop for Scott Diebold to keep this a 2-1 game.
Nice stop.
Jerry, so you obviously had some success here, and you played under three different coaches while you were here. One of them being one of the guys up in the rafters. Actually, a couple of them up in the rafters in both Harkness and Kearns.
Yeah. Yeah, I did, and that was one of the issues that we had when I was here, because you could only play for the 3 years, you couldn't play as a freshman,
right,
on the big team, and so 3 years, three coaches, no recruiting for 3 years. It became a bit of a challenge, and fortunately Gary came along and really saved the program.
Yeah, Gary, a former player as well. As RPI takes a penalty, Guy Leboeuf's going to go off here. Talking to Jerry Knightley, class of 1965, joining the RPI Ring of Honor between periods, or during the second period, excuse me. Thank him for being with us. And yeah, so you played for the three coaches, and Gary, you played here as well, one of the top forwards as well for the Engineers in the school's history.
Yeah, Gary was an All-American in his own right, and he was a great player for sure. And I think, he was working in town as an architect at the time. He'd been working for like 5 or 6 years, I guess, as an architect. And I'm not sure how he won the job, but it was great to have him step up and take over the program.
Speaking of stepping up, here's a shorthanded breakout from McGowan. Shoots and a save by Steele. Another shorthanded chance. The Engineers had a shorthanded goal yesterday. And Zaleski picked it up. It was slammed right back in by Bokenfour. Pretty good action here in the second period. We're 5 minutes in. Minute to go on the LaBeouf penalty. I want to know a little bit about another one of your teammates, Jerry and Bob Brinkworth.
Yeah, Bob,
what was his best attribute?
Bob's a great friend of mine. Bob was he's just a very smooth hockey player with the puck. He had a lot of great hand-eye skills, and he was a terrific centerman, a great passer. In addition to all the other skills that he had, but that was really his strength. And I think he and I worked so well together because, he had more stick handling skills, I'll call them, passing skills than I had. But I was stronger as a north-south and a scrappy kind of a player.
Okay.
And we complemented each other real well.
What was your favorite part of RPI off the rink? If you had some time off the rink. I know you guys, I know you talked to the team about this. You guys probably hung out a lot together with your teammates.
Yeah, I think probably that was it. We just were such good friends because we knew each other so well that we hung out together all the time, and we just enjoyed each other's company and had a good time.
Engineers kill off the penalty. Still up 2-1 here. And Jerry, I'd like to thank you for joining us here during the second period. It was a little bit hectic running around between periods, but thanks a lot for coming on.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. Enjoyed it.
That was RPI new member to the Ring of Honor, Jerry Knightley, joining us during the second period. RPI with a 2-1 lead. As the puck is shot all the way down the ice. Will it be icing? Yes, it will. That'll bring the stoppage here. And real interesting, Jerry Knightley. A lot of interesting things to say about hockey kind of then and now, huh, Teo?
Yeah, I can't believe that you couldn't hit anybody once you went over the red line. Can't even imagine. I mean, I can't imagine the game, how it would be like that if it were like that these days. So, but definitely, and he lived the dream back then, and it seems like he has very fond memories of it, so that's really great to see him out.
He spoke to the team yesterday before the game against Yale, and he said that guys were playing, of course we have that few running 2 lines roughly on the forward side of things, 35, 40 minutes a game. That's a lot of hockey to play. I know that was kind of how everyone did it back then, but it's a lot of ice time. You see that from some defensemen maybe in overtime as the shot is deflected by Dolan these days, but not a lot of guys play 35, 40 minutes a game.
No, not a lot of guys at any level really have to log that type of ice time. And
go ahead.
The most ice that a player will see is if probably some of the Brown defensemen will log up to 30 minutes tonight. Maybe we might see Dennis Robertson getting up near 30 minutes because he's probably going every other shift as sort of an anchor back there on this injury-ridden Brown roster, but really that's just unheard of in this day and age.
So once again, the voice you heard, the third voice, was Jerry Knightley. Went into the Ring of Honor yesterday, wore number 18 for the Engineers. He's now up there with the likes of Adam Oates, Joey Juneau, a couple of coaches, and Kearns and Harkness, Bob Brinkworth. As it's out to center, picked up by Curtis Leonard. He'll whip it in. No scoring here so far in the second period, but we have had chances at both ends of the ice. That one shot in by Dolan. Engineers need to touch up. They do.
Yeah, Perry, when we were talking to Jerry, there was one sequence where Brown came down, had a breakaway, Diebold made a stop, then LaBeouf went to the box, obviously, and then McGowan had a breakaway, got stopped. A lot of excitement here while we were talking to him. But a good game back and forth.
Certainly the crowd's a little bit quiet. I think maybe a goal can spark things for this Engineer team. The top line's out there. Haggerty back to the point. Dolan a shot that never had a chance at his skate. Moved up the wall. Higgs turns and fires it into the zone. Controlled by the Bears out to center. Laredo pulls it back. Still Laredo making moves. Drops it back. Now move to the point. Hathaway played it there. Now Robertson. Teo talked about Robertson being the anchor. He's also the captain, as we talked about earlier. Has the goal as well. As Robertson hits Haggerty. Fans say the puck wasn't close, and the officials say it was close enough. Kind of a blindsided hit for Haggerty, who meanders back to the RPI bench area. Robertson to Hathaway. He lost the puck. Picked away by Rogic. Shoots it off the linesman. Now Fulton. Set up RPI's second goal to Travis Fulton when he found the captain, Matt Tenorti, in the middle of the ice. A pretty pass and a setup. Now Tenorti's on it. He'll throw it in front. It hits off the paddle of the stick. LaBeouf's shot was blocked. Gets it right back. Rogic. LaBeouf. Fires it down low. Pinching all the way below the goal line is Leonard. Tenorti. Puck trickling out to center. Engineers will pick it up. LaBeouf fires it in. Engineers want to get it changed. It'll be gloved by Steele, but he'll leave it behind for Robertson. A little over 9 minutes to go in the second period. Shots just 11-8 Bears. Of course, RPI still on top 2-1. DeVito into the zone. Takes a shot. Rebound pops free. It's skipped by Neal on the far side. A little too much heat on it. I think it was also in the air. Dolan fires in. Stopped by Steele. Back to claim it, Tyler Wood. A near giveaway and a whistle. Face-off coming outside the zone. The net's off.
Yeah, I was not quite sure what happened, but Milos Bubella there just going into the net, and looked like he was holding on to his head. I didn't really see anybody near him, but Milos flying in, and the net is off, so they'll correct it, but they're going to say that the RPI man pushed it off, and the face-off will come back outside Tyler Steele's defensive zone here. Got a quick look at the replay of that hit on Haggerty. I didn't think there was that much in it. Obviously, it was to his blind side, like you mentioned. But the puck was coming right to him, and I think he might have just heard the footsteps of the defenseman and decided not to take the puck. But at that point, neither of them was going to get out of the way of that collision, I think. So, got a little rise out of the crowd, and things were tense there on the ice for a couple seconds. But I didn't see that much in it, Barry.
We will have a face-off in the RPI zone now. We're skating 5 aside. You get a look at that?
Yeah, so I just got another quick little look at when Milos Bubella ran into the net, and it looked like Tyler Steele might have just put his stick hand out and maybe just caught Bubella right in the cage with the butt end of his goalie paddle there. So. Bubella, I think he fell down and held his face a little bit to try and emphasize to the referee that he had been hit. But it's not. I don't think it's a very sporting play of Tyler Steele, but it is what it is, and nothing came of it.
Little sneaky play there. I think I can remember Alan York doing something similar to that a couple of years ago. I'm not sure. Just if you can get something away with something. Miller into the zone. As we're under 8 minutes now to go in the second. Picking it off the wall, LaBeouf. That one kind of flopped up on end and didn't hit it cleanly. It went high and way wide. Controlled now by the Bears. Jola to center. Gets rubbed off the puck nicely by Higgs, who even takes it away in the process and gets it back from LaBeouf. Higgs, wrister right on. Saved by Steele as Robertson goes careening into the net. We'll have a stoppage in play.
Yeah, and again, Perry, we see the first lines for both teams out there. The Joel and Niclario Lappin line for Brown against the Zaleski between Higgs and Haggerty line. Brown will get a change here, but the first RPI line will stay out there and try and make something happen in the offensive zone here at the end of a shift.
Face off, pops out to Haggerty, finds Dolan, skipped past him, he'll track it down. Now Hathaway plays it back behind. A bit of room to work now for the Bears. Swung and a miss by Haggerty at center ice. And a aerial puck controlled again by Brown. Hourahan, he converted forward, just throws it off the far glass area. Now a penalty coming up here as Higgs was hit from behind. The Engineers are going to get a power play. Zaleski carries in. He's tied up by a couple of Bears. They'll get the touch up, and the power play will come. It's going to be a cross check. It'll send the Engineers on the man advantage for the second time.
Like you said, it was Higgs went down in neutral zone. Let's see if we'll get another quick look at it here. I didn't see the play it. I think just gone away from that area of the ice. But,
I think the puck was just left the vicinity of where the infraction occurred.
Yeah, so we won't get another look at it, but right now we'll see the Engineers' second power play unit, it looks like, is going to come out and see if they can make something happen.
Engineers were not credited with a shot on goal during their first power play. That came in the first period. Now, losing a stick is actually a broken stick for Goldberg to see if the Engineers can take advantage. Goldberg is on top of the puck trying to get a whistle here. It's a smart play by him, but the Engineers aren't going to let him do it. Dolan settles down a puck on edge. Down low, one-timer from behind the net. That was DeVito. Not sure exactly what he was trying to do. Maybe get a bank off the back of the goaltender. Didn't get it. Leonard. Dolan. Into the skates of McGowan. He'll control. Feeding near side from Leonard. Now Dolan again. McGowan. Middle of the ice for Tenorti. Walking in. A shot deflects and it goes in!
Yeah, Perry, Tenorti in the center on a little Adam Oates coaches the Capitals. He's obviously in the Ring of Honor here with Jerry Knightley, and he coaches the Washington Capitals now, and he preaches a 1-3-1 power play, which is exactly what the Engineers had going on there. They had one guy at the point, two out on either wall, and then the goal scorer, Matt Tenorti, just parked right in between those hash marks. You'll see him, he just comes right through that slot area, picks up a pass, gets a shot on net. Steele got a piece of it, but just a heavy wrister. Very similar to in the shot and the placement to Tenorti's first goal tonight, and just too much a little bit for Tyler Steele to handle, so Tenorti picks up his second of the night on the power play.
And Teo, how big was it for the Engineers to keep that puck moving? Jake Goldberg was sitting on top of it. He had broken his stick. He was the man trying to defend Tenorti in the slot. He couldn't do anything about the shot being taken.
Yeah, you know, it's in that situation. You're right. It's a very smart play by Goldberg, but you know, it's tough to do, especially with three Engineers bearing down on them, which they all were, as they should be. Obviously, more men on the ice. They had more men to give up and send to the puck. So that was it was nice work, and then it ended up in a goal in that sequence. So good pressure by the Engineers and good heads up to not let him jump on top of that puck and freeze it up.
Shot from the point by LeBeuf. Trickles wide. Now turning and shooting was Haggerty. Another shot by Zaleski. Another one put off of Steele as he's keeping this a 2-goal game. The barrage is on right now for the Engineers. Not on the power play anymore, of course, but still pressuring Zaleski. The power play goal for Tenorti is second of the game and sixth of the year. Assist to McGowan and Dolan. Rubella takes a slapper that was hit directly off the man in front of him, Jacobson, and out of play. 3-1 is the RPI lead now, with under 5 minutes to go in the second period.
Yeah, and you know, obviously a tough break on that Tenorti goal from Steele, but he had a great sequence there in the last couple of seconds. Made a point-blank save on Haggerty, and then at least one save, maybe two, on Zaleski as he was just coming across that back post, and Steele slid over and made the saves.
Another goal here for RPI. Help them in their quest to hold on to a late-game lead. As it shot up the boards into the zone, offside there. The puck a little bit behind Niclario. He was not controlling it. That's where the whistle comes.
Yeah, he didn't quite have it and just skated over it. So unfortunately, they had a good little breakout going, but just a little miscue entering the zone, and they'll blow it dead.
There's Luke Karate. Has a couple of goals this year, the first two of his career. As the Bears will control, it's Wall. Gets it back from Laredo. Circling back, Naclario. Now Wall again. Crosses center, he'll dump in. Laredo, 8 goals and 15 assists for him, but it skips right by him. Milo Schwabella into the zone. Takes a wrister through the legs of the defenseman Wood. It was a tricky play and maybe not one that Steele was expecting. It was headed wide and Steele did stay focused on the puck there.
Yeah, I think Bubella just trying to get the puck deep. Maybe would have had. He's skating away from the net with the defenseman right in front of him. He might have had better luck if he had sort of gone back across his body and towards that far pad of Steele, but just floats one right into the glove.
Toss from the face-off dot is senior Johnny Rogic. Shot around, takes a hop for Fulton. Centering pass, looking for Tenorti again. And that one didn't connect. It was broken up neatly by the Brown defense. Goldberg back with a stick. He'll dump in. Shot from no angle, save. Rebound pops free to the slot. Goldberg again. That one stopped again. Maybe that caught Tenorti in front. I don't think that got to Diebold. Rogic has his man tied up. Leonard rather, picks it away. Curtis Leonard to Travis Fulton. Fulton out of Oakville, Ontario, dumps it in. And he goes for the puck, nearly takes it away. Schrader trying to spin and backhand the puck in front in one motion, couldn't do so. Now he'll glove it down for Miller, and that should be a hand pass. A couple of those have gone uncalled tonight. This one benefits the Engineers, so they'll not mind. Now Miller trying to move it in front. It was knocked away, chopped at by Karate. Moved forward by Kyle Kramer of Brown, but Karate takes it right away from him. Into the zone is McGowan. Makes a move, backhander. That one's swatted away. Up the wall. Shot far side by Davey Middleton. Now into the zone, a partial break. Now good tie-up by LaBeouf. No arms are going up. McGowan goes down in a heap. He's hurt. Puck free to the point. McGowan still down to the side of the RPI cage. Robertson wrists one towards goal, knocked away by Dolan. And hobbling back to the bench slowly. McGowan not quite there yet. The puck still in the RPI zone. Now a shot coming way wide. That one didn't settle for Prizebeck. McGowan finally back to the bench. He'll get looked at by Tara Patno, the RPI men's hockey trainer, as the Engineers move it out to center ice. A little bit scary moment there, but McGowan able to get up and skate off. I'm not sure what happened. Robertson looking to center. That one's partially slowed down by Miller, so it never got to the intended target. Bears still on the attack. Robertson faking a shot. Wall try to give it back, and that will hop into the penalty box. And we'll get another stoppage here.
Yep. Good little, decent little sequence there from the Brown Bears. A couple of chances. A good job, though, by LaBeouf on that defensive play. He just got skated right around, but turned around, and instead of stopping his feet and hooking the man, as a lot of defenders are liable to do, he turned right around, kept his feet going, and tied up the stick of the Brown forward and denied a scoring chance. So good D by LaBeouf.
And LaBeouf took a couple of penalties last night, but there made a good defensive play and was really a partial breakaway for Brown. Bouncing puck out to center. Skated in. Lappin trying to move around Bokenford. Takes a shot from a tight angle. It went wide. Poked out to center by Higgs. Chased down by the Bears' Goldberg. Leonard. Bokenford. Off the glass and past Haggerty all the way down. This will not be icing. They say it deflected off somebody on the way through. Rossi gives it away. Neutral zone. Engineers fire it back in. Rossi again takes a hit from DeVito. Penalty coming up here on the RPI freshman. Is this going to be a board or a hit from behind? We'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be a check from behind. Really could have been a number of things. It was a little late. He flew in and he threw a check just square in the numbers of the Brown defenseman. So you really can't do that. And he'll go to the box. And, like you mentioned, LaBeouf doing a good job to stay out of the penalty box, because that is where he was sitting last night as the game ended when Yale Bulldog power play put one past Scott Diebold in overtime. So good job by him to right the ship, sort of, and play solid D and stay disciplined.
Power play chance here for the Bears. As they'll set things up. Shot to flex off the base of the cage. Looked like Jacobson may have got a deflection in front of the RPI net. To the point. Wall. Goldberg. Feeding it far side. Good stick from Leonard, but didn't get enough of it. Bears keep it in. Wall. Up the wall for Laredo. Make it Jacobson, rather. Now a wrist shot comes and a glove save. May have been headed wide, but Diebold made sure of it.
Yeah, a little jump from the fans here as Diebold reaches out and gloves one. That never really had a chance. It was from a wide angle, and Brown doing an okay job possessing the puck, but they sort of got four guys walking, tiptoeing around the perimeter. But as you can see there in that shot, LeBoeuf is there all by himself in front and no traffic from the Brown power play. So they'll have to get that going in front if they want to try and get some scoring opportunities.
Tied up in the corner. It's scooped out of play by Guy LeBoeuf, and we'll have a face-off in the RPI zone. Just 29.9 seconds left in the second period. So this power play will most likely carry over the penalty to Jimmy DeVito.
Yeah, and if it doesn't, that'll be really big. The last minute of any period is not really when you want to be giving up a goal. So not a very timely penalty from DeVito. I don't think I could think of a good time to get a penalty, honestly. But yeah, this will be a good test for the Engineers, see if they can get out of here without conceding.
RPI trying to break out shorthanded, but it was slowed up just a bit. Now Brown right back into the zone. Trying to cut to the net was Niclario. Poking at it, Zaleski with 4 seconds. And he'll hop to the slot, and a one-timer comes. It would have gone after the horn. It was turned away anyway. And that will do it for the second period. RPI adds to its 2-1 lead to make it 3-1. Second goal of the game for Matt Tenorti.
Yeah, Perry and RPI picking up more shots than Brown in that period, which was good, and killing off the power play, keeping it. So 1 more minute to kill, and we'll see if they can keep the lead in the third period.
We'll head to a break here from the Houston Fieldhouse. Once again, after 2 periods, it's the Engineers 3 and the Bears 1. You're watching the RPI hockey on RPI TV.
Hey, Jason, it's been a while. I think you should save.
That's a great idea.
What a fantastic save by Jason Kasdorf. The RPI goaltender is on top of his game tonight. I can't wait to see what he comes up with next.
Hi, I'm here with Matt Tenorti. Matt, you had a few chances. You got a couple goals. Break down the last one for me.
It was a great play by DeVito, McGowan, and Dolan, keeping the puck alive on the wall there, and McGowan made a great pass in the slot, and it just was fortunate enough to go in.
What can you say about the general type of play that we've seen tonight?
I think it's been pretty good. I think, we stay out of the box. We're playing well, down low on them 5-on-5, possessing the puck, and, just trying to make them defend.
Being a veteran player on the ice here, what's going to be the big message in the locker room as you head in?
I think it's just to, not get ahead of ourselves, just focus on sticking to our game plan for 20 minutes and trying to finish the game off the right way.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
You're watching Engineers Hockey live on RPI TV.
My favorite dry line activity would have to be upper body day, just to get your beach bod going.
Heat pack before workouts.
Star jumps.
My favorite training activity would have to be Turkish get-ups. My favorite training activity would have to be bench.
I think my favorite, I guess, would probably be the foam roll and the stretch.
My favorite dryland activity is definitely the yoga sessions on Sundays.
Favorite training activity, I'm going to have to go on a limb here and say cleans. Not everybody likes those, but it's probably one thing I'm actually pretty good at and I like to keep working on.
Favorite music in the locker room, I like classic rock, so I'm a rock guy. My favorite song would have to be, to get me pumped up, would be YYZ by Rush.
A song that's always pumped me up before a game is Diva by Beyonce.
I'd have to say a song that pumps me up before a game is Eric Pryde's Calling Me. I also have a little dance to it too, so when everyone in the locker room is getting the dance going, it gets me pumped up.
We've been listening to a lot of gangster rap, courtesy of Scotty D. Bold, so...
You Put a Ring on It by Beyonce. It's very motivating.
What song that gets me pumped up is 50 Cent, PIMP.
I have no idea. My type of music would be anything from the past 40 years.
I basically listen to whatever's playing. Guy usually runs the stereo, so I don't really pick too much.
I don't really handle the music in the locker room. I kind of just listen to whatever gets thrown at me. But right now, Guy's in charge of it, and he's always got those techno and dubstep, transformer things going. But I don't mind it. It's a good pump up and a good way to, get me going for the game.
I'm Riley Bourbonnais. You're watching Engineers Hockey live on RPI TV.
From 1970, Chuck Rancourt. From 68, it's Ira Goldman. Also from 68, Paul Crossing. From 1982, Dino Macaluso. 1981, Mark Glasser. From 1989, goaltender Steve Duncan. From 92, Rick Corina. From 89, it's Dave Aiello.
At the Houston Fieldhouse, 37, the Big Red Freakout, joined now by Gretchen Cilio, the president of the RPI Student Union. Gretchen, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
What is the biggest thing about events like this mean for the students and for the union in general?
I think it's a great opportunity to see just how much spirit we have here at RPI. I mean, the house is packed, and it's not just our students, it's our alumni. It's a great feeling.
Being as a part of the student union, what kind of events and what kind of things are going on during the year that you're most proud of?
Gosh, all of the events. Coming up soon, we have Winter Carnival, which is another great event, and at the end of the year, we'll have Relay for Life. I mean, our students are doing very different things all the time, and it's a great opportunity to see our passion.
What sets the RPI Student Union apart from other student unions?
Our student union, like you said, is a student union, and it's student-run, which means that it's very much by students for students, just something that I'm really proud of, and I think a lot of our students get a lot out of.
And being part of student government here, what are you trying to? I guess what is your biggest things you're trying to do as the president of the union?
I mean, as president of the union, as my board is trying to do, we're all trying to spend money as effectively and efficiently as possible. So that's what we spend the entire year doing, and we try really hard at it.
And what's your favorite part of events like this? I know it's loud, and you got fans and students out here.
I mean, I guess just the fans and the students that are here. It's the excitement on our students' faces, for alumni faces, and even the little kids' faces. It's great.
And finally, Gretchen, what's the significance of the hat, the PU hat?
Oh, the hat. I don't really know. I mean, I guess it says, hey, that's the president of the union. Better go harass her. So
that's what it seems like to you, anyway.
That's what it seems like to me.
Well, Gretchen, thanks for joining us between periods, and good luck the rest of the year here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Gretchen Cilio here between periods. We'll be back with more from the Houston Fieldhouse in just a few minutes. You're watching RPI Hockey on RPI TV.
This is Luke Karate.
And this is Phil Hampton. On behalf of the RPI men's hockey team, we'd like to congratulate the RPI TV crew on their 10th anniversary.
Hi, this is Meet RPI TV. My name is Jose Benitez. I'm going to be the host of this talk show for at least the remainder of this semester. And here I have Mr. Doug Kingman, senator from the freshman class, Senator Michael Goldenberg, sophomore class, right? Mm-hmm. And the Grand Marshal, Mike Dillon. Well, thank you for all for being here.
folks. Welcome back to the Houston Fieldhouse, joined now by RPI Athletic Director Jim Knowlton. And Jim, it's a crazy environment in here, but expected now. You've been through a few of these Big Red Freakouts now.
It's phenomenal. I mean, the fans are crazy, the students are here in force, and the team's playing really well. So the energy just keeps building. I'm sure this third period's going to be crazy.
Got to talk a little bit about the student athletes here, and RPI boasts some pretty good ones. Good grades for them as well. What can you say about the athletes, both the hockey teams and everybody else, all 23 sports here?
Well, we have 550 student athletes, and this semester, 73% of them were on the dean's list. And, I think that's what we're most proud of is the fact that they are student athletes, students first, and they continue to impress me in the classroom. And that's our culture. It's important to us, and the student athletes are definitely delivering.
Great crowd again here tonight. It helps when the team's playing well, too, to have everyone up yelling and cheering for the team.
Well, it's exciting, and tonight's really special because we celebrated the 63-64 team that went to the Frozen Four, and we had almost 70 alums come back for the game. And I don't know if we want to talk about it, but the alumni game was absolutely crazy today.
Yeah, I do. I heard C.J. Lee scored the game winner in overtime. It was a little bit easy going early on, but as it went on, they get a little more chippy.
Well, it's funny. These games start, they're all friends. They're patting each other on the pads, and the second period gets a little more intense. And then the third period, it was all out. Everyone was full speed, and the competitive juices come out. And it was the Americans versus the Canadians, and it went down to the wire. It was tied at the end of the game, went into overtime, and then CJ scored the game winner. And you would have thought they won the Stanley Cup. The place went crazy.
I have to ask you a little bit about Ring of Honor. Jerry Knightley went in last night. Big event here, of course. Lots going on with all the alumni back. But you have a chance to sit down and talk with Jerry at all?
Jerry was fantastic. Jerry, absolutely deserving, part of RPI athletic lore, hockey lore, and so gracious. His speech out at center ice, where he recognized all those folks that had helped him along the way, and some of them that are Ring of Honor members already, was just as gracious as could be, and just a true pro, really a pro.
Real exciting night. Hopefully a good third period coming up for RPI. Jim, thanks for joining us.
Perry, thanks a lot. Great job, and we appreciate what you're doing. Thanks.
That was RPI Athletic Director Jim Knowlton. We'll send it up to Teo here with some stats from the second period.
Thanks, Perry. I'm back. Hopefully we'll might get a little stat graphic going on, but if not, I can just give you the details. Second period there, RPI Engineers actually outshooting the Brown Bears 10-5. They got outshot in the first frame 10-7, so they bounced back. Perry and I mentioned earlier that the second period has been pretty tough on the Engineers in general. They tend to give up more goals than they score in the second period, but in that one they had one power play, converted on it, so ended up one goal to the good in that second period, leaving it at 3-1. So you see the shot tallies now are RPI outshooting Brown 17-5. RPI, like I said, converting on their one power play that period, puts them at 1-2, and RPI continuing to sort of dominate the face-off circle as they have been in this game. I believe it was 19-10 after the first period. Now face-offs 27-19 in favor of RPI, which, it only gives you a few seconds of extra possession, but if you get more and more face-offs, those continue to add up, and eventually you turn those little bits of possession into shots, and then those shots into chances, and chances into goals. So RPI ahead 3-1, and they're to the good in pretty much every stat category here. Might want to point out that they have allowed Brown to have 4 power plays to Brown's 2 penalties, so RPI picking up a few more penalty minutes than they maybe want to. You certainly, if any, you would like to have fewer than the other team. So all in all, a good period. Like I mentioned, the second period has sort of plagued the Engineers, but doing well here, and we'll see if they can hang on in the third and get a win here.
Yeah, a good period, a good second period for RPI. Haven't been able to say that too often so far this year, but maybe it's a sign of good things to come for the Engineers, who battled their way back after falling behind last weekend. They lost on Friday with a shortened roster because of the 4 suspensions. They came back on Saturday against St. Lawrence. They were down 3-2 and came back in the third to win 4-3. And then last night, a tough game against the number 13 team in the country, Yale, which at times I thought they outplayed the Bulldogs. Probably were unlucky to come away with a 3-2 loss. Maybe a tie was a more fair result in that game. But tonight, playing well. This is a Brown team that is also shorthanded due to injury. And they took Union, who's a top 5, top 10 team. They were leading the Dutchman last night before running out of gas late in that game, losing 4-3. So this is a good Brown hockey team. They're one game under 500 on the season at 9-10-3. So, Teo, this is a team that maybe RPI is catching them at the right time, but they're definitely very talented, and it shows up front with the amount of points that Niclario, Lappin, and Laredo put up. Yeah, definitely. Like you said, they took Union to a pretty close game last night. 4-3 was the final, and we were talking with Coach Whitted before the game, and he spoke of his high-power offense. That that's really their bread and butter. Once they get going, they play solid team D and then score a few goals on offense. And obviously, Joel and Niclario, Lappin, and Matt Laredo, who also has 23 points right behind Niclario with 30 and Lappin with 28. Obviously, they got a lot of big point getters up front, but so far the Engineers' defensive crew has done a good job keeping them out of the dangerous areas and making sure that Scotty Diebold's job has been pretty easy so far today. So the Engineers, who were undefeated in their first, I believe, 18 Big Red Freakouts, are now 19-8-5. So a bit of a swoon here through the 2000s-ish of this. But the Engineers coming back strong here, trying to get that 20th Big Red Freakout win here in game number 37 of the fabled event here at RPI. And of course, they packed the rink. Used to be more seats to our right behind Scott Diebold, who starts the third period here. You see a big blue mobile section of seats. The old capacity was listed at 5,200. Now it's 48 due to that, but I'm sure there's closer to 5,000. We'll get an official number to you as soon as we get the attendance here. There are people just standing here around the glass at the Houston Fieldhouse. Hopefully they'll be standing at the end of this game. Yeah, definitely. This is as full as I've seen the place, and this is as loud as it's ever been when I've been in here. Both teams brought the band, obviously RPI with the pep band at home, but Brown also has a little band in the visitors section that's making some noise. And like you said, all the stands here that there are packed up to the ceiling, so pretty noisy in here, and it definitely gets noisy when RPI scores. So we'll see if they can put a few more home and bring some more sound to this building. Brown will start the third period with 52 seconds of power play time, with Jimmy DeVito took that penalty late in the second. Yeah, and I mentioned it earlier. Probably not a very intelligent penalty. Just sort of running in, and that Jimmy DeVito is that type of player. He runs around and he hits everything, and he just flew in there and went right at the numbers of the Brown defenseman, which he just can't do. But his teammates have picked him up so far, and we'll see if they can pick him up for another 52 seconds. And I think RPI will want to have just a quiet third period here, not allowing a lot of shots. They say a 2-goal lead is dangerous, but they held the Union offense pretty well at bay in the last period, so if they can just do that one more time, and obviously it's loud in the building and they like it when it gets loud, but I think a quiet period, no penalties, long time between whistles is exactly what the Engineers need right now to get out of here with the 2 points that they didn't get yesterday against Yale. Now, I know I talked about it with Dr. Shirley and Jackson between the first and second periods, but I know there are a lot of people around the country and around the world tuning into this game, and there's people can't make it out to Troy for the Big Red Freakout. A number of them are out in Seattle. I know there's a Seattle alumni chapter out there watching, a good, solid crowd out there. So shout out to you folks and everybody else around the country tuning in. RPI TV, thanks you for tuning in to tonight's broadcast or webcast here at the Houston Field. That was a bit of a delay to start the third period. We're not 100% sure why.
My guess, Perry, would be that they're waiting for the ice to set up. It's been a little warmer this week than in past weeks, as I'm sure everybody knows. And obviously with a lot of bodies in the building, it warms up. And so the crew works hard here to keep the ice good. And I think they just wanted to give the corners, which can get a little puddly, might call it muddy almost. They just wanted to give the corners a little time to set up. Otherwise, the pucks do kind of get stuck, slows down the game.
But we are underway in the third, and across the line too early is Mark Niclario, the sophomore. And that'll force a whistle here. 38 seconds on the DeVito penalty. We're just 15 seconds into the third.
Yep, the first line back out here. Niclario, Lappin, and I don't see Jola. I think Matt Laredo, who's another top scorer that I mentioned in between periods there, is out for the Brown Bears.
On the power, but this is flung down the ice by none other than Guy Leboeuf. As the Bears will move it into the zone. On the stick handle, knocked down was Laredo. Good stand-up hit there. Engineers clear once more. Not much doing on this power play. 10 seconds left on it. Wall moves it up the boards. Lappin wasn't expecting the pass. Engineers clear out to center, and it'll be Goldberg just off the bench and just in time to step in front of Schrader. Back to 5-a-side as Miller flips one on goal. Blocker save. Miller gets there. Miller behind. Taken over by Goldberg. And now Wall. Outlet pass to his own blue line. Broken up by Dolan. Karate over for RPI. Stolen away by Niclario. Try to drop it back. Puck leaves the zone. Wall. Shot in by Preisbeck. And now McGowan. Goldberg keeps it in. Will roll all the way around. Shot on goal. Actually hits the base of the net. Karate knocks his man down, and now McGowan picks it up for RPI. He shoots it directly out of play. We'll get a stoppage here. Teo, if RPI can get a fourth goal, they can basically wrap this one up.
Yeah, absolutely. They're not going to be able to change here, so I don't think that this line, Mark Miller just killed off that penalty. He's been out there a while now. But definitely if they can get one more, just settle down, and I think they will go to a sort of, I think Coach Appert likes to go to sort of a neutral zone trap. At least in the neutral ice. I think they'll still press in the offensive zone, but I definitely would let them relax a little more.
That's off. I'm not sure who got it. The puck was in the near corner. Maybe it was Dolan. We'll get a stoppage anyway.
And they say a 2-goal lead is the most dangerous because you might get a little complacent and think that you got it, but all it takes is one goal and then give the other team some energy and get right back in it. So at least they got to stay on their toes, and a goal here definitely. I mean, they never hurt, Perry, but definitely now would be a good time.
Tie up along the wall. Schrader's there. They kick at it. Schrader just trying to move it up, but he's not going to get past Lamacchia. Wood into the zone. Takes a shot that was headed about a foot or two wide, but Diebold will hold it anyway.
Yeah, the Engineers will get a little change here. Send a new deep here, and it looks like a new forward line. Not sure if Coach Appert is trying to match. It looks like now Coach Witta is going with Laredo along with Niclario and Lappin. So he's put Jola on a different line and put his 3 major point getters together on a line to just try and shake things up and get some offense going. So
long outlet pass just tipped away from Higgs. It was Haggerty. Yeah, Haggerty looking for the home run ball. And now a pass by Zaleski off the mark and all the way down the ice it goes.
Yeah, good stick from Wall, the senior defenseman out of Wellington, Florida, just reaching back. I think he anticipated it, so sort of felt Higgs over his shoulder.
This will be icing on the Engineers, and we'll get a stoppage here. A really slow-moving third period, not even 3 minutes in here. RPI holding on to that 3-1 lead, and maybe needed a hit, maybe not necessarily a goal, but something to get this crowd going again.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. It has been quiet. Like I said, I think they'll want to keep the whistles and stoppages down and let the clock keep running. And, but Brown has done a good job of trying to scrap and keep it in the Engineer end so far. But an icing there will bring it back.
Dolan shoots it wide. This will be trying to be covered up by the stick, and he still has it. That's a nifty play over there by Steele. He kind of grabbed it with the knob of his goalie stick and pinched it against the goal.
Yeah, I think he just reached back. I'm not sure if he realized for a couple of seconds that he had it, but then once he did, he quickly scooped it up. So good job by Steele just to stay on top of things. Again, the freshman goaltender out of Vernon, British Columbia. This is his 16th game. He came in with a .906 save percentage, which isn't really superb, but Coach Whitted thought it wasn't really demonstrative of his play so far this season. So he's had a pretty good night. First couple of goals for the Engineers, he probably couldn't have done much about the shot for a rebound, and then Zaleski had an empty net, and then Tenorti just wiring a couple of wrist shots that I don't think Tyler Steele ever would have had a chance to save if he had 100 looks at him.
Babella ahead for Neal. He'll skate into the zone. Takes the shot. Not a lot to shoot at, and that one will end up leaving the zone. More often than not, that shot does, taken from that angle. As Neal just chips it into the zone. Brown will control. Knocked out of the air by Lappin. Swooping in is LaBeouf to move it out to center. Johnny Roderick all by himself in the zone. And that one hops off the wall, but cannot be reached by Roderick. Robertson out to center for the Bears. Shot back in. And now Wood rather. Leonard off the boards. Robertson right back the other way. Guy LaBeouf will ring it out. All the way down it goes. This will be icing on the Engineers. And we'll have a stoppage. 15:25 left, third period. RPI looking for the 3-1 win here. Looking for 2 points on the weekend.
Yeah, and the fourth line here for the Engineers, Fulton, Roderick, and Tenorti sort of stuck out there on the icing. Probably not exactly in the game plan. It's good to get them out there and get them grinding, waste some time, but to keep the stoppages up, it gives Brown a chance to catch a breath and get their first unit back out there.
Leonard up the boards, passes a bit behind Tenorti. He stays on the puck nicely. That one shot into the crowd. Engineers giving away souvenirs here in the third period. That one after McGowan did something just about the same spot. I wonder if a fan got 2 pucks there. That time it was LaBeouf who put it in the crowd.
Yeah, second one in a row. The puck, nobody ever intends to chip it right over, but as you can see, the puck just rolling on him and tried to go off the high glass and out, which is usually a good play to avoid the icing, but no change for the Engineers, and they'll try and break it out again.
Tenorti on to Roderick. Shooting it in. Just at the right time there to avoid the interference call. Wall. Robertson drops off to the circle looking for the play down low. It was available. Kramer was there, but going for the puck, he went sliding into the net and knocked it off.
Yeah, face-off will come outside. He just, it was a good play. You can see here, 22. That is, Kramer was digging to the back post, like you said. Great play. Puck just went by his stick, and he lost his footing. Diebold slid over, and the two sort of collided, and face-off comes back outside the Engineer net, outside the Engineer zone, excuse me.
Goldberg fires it in from center. Dolan will try and shoot it out. Helped along by McGowan. Rossi over to Goldberg. Had to settle the puck off the glass, and now Rossi again. As I mentioned, from Kuopio, Finland. Engineers women have a Finnish player this year. Heidi Huhtamaki, a freshman. She's from Espoo. Dolan a shot from the far hash marks, and that one's turned away by Steele. Karate pinching up the boards, keeps it alive, finds a man in front. It's Miller turning and twisting. He fires it off the boards. Just taking a slap shot there was Schrader. And moved out to center by the Bears. And Prescott tried to stick handle around his man, but he ran into Karate. And now a breakaway chance for Miller. Walking in Miller, looking for the 5-hole, and squeezing the pads together is Steele to rob them. That's 2 breakaways for RPI in this game, 1 for McGowan, and that time Miller. And it really took Miller to the low slot before he actually controlled the puck.
Yeah, he just missed the puck on his backhand there, and then he comes in and you see just looking for that little 5-hole, but that's a common move. A lot of players make that move, and Steele recognized it and closed up the legs real quick, made the save. So good job by Steele. He's shown poise in both of those breakaway situations, like you mentioned.
Haggerty trying to walk in front. It was poked off his stick. Zaleski. Over to Higgs, feeding it to the point. It's between the 2 defensemen. Bokenfour was looking for the backdoor play. He had already crashed down to the circle, and the puck left the zone. Higgs moving his way in. Kicked free by Higgs to Haggerty. Looking to center, all the way to Zaleski. Zaleski trying to dangle in front. Played by the goalie, stick by Steele. McClario takes a hit. Puck moved to center. Into the zone is Hurahan. His shot was blocked by Dolan. 12:45 to go in the third. RPI up 3-1. Knocked down by Bokenfour. Ahead to Zaleski. Higgs is breaking. He finds him. Slapper coming. And looking for that top corner on the slap shot was Higgs. It was gloved by Steele. Lamacchia, stick handling the center, ran into 3 Engineers, and the puck comes loose. Now Babella into the zone. Pulls it back, takes a shot, save. Rebound gloved behind by one of the Brown players. That was Kramer. Outlet pass cannot be controlled by Harlow. Dolan back in his own end. Off the glass to center. Robertson. Chipping it on for Kramer. It will be icing as Karate just beats Kramer down the ice.
Yeah, this is the game now sort of settling down, going a little more how the Engineers, I think, wanted Perry. The last couple of minutes looked a little bit like tennis, everybody's head going back and forth from one end of the ice to the other, which I think the Engineers want. Just solid, stay on top of the puck, take shots from outside, it's fine. Just keep the pressure on and keep all of Brown's skaters moving and not give them a chance to sort of recoup here.
Dangerously into the wall. Fulton looked like on his own accord. He is quickly back up. Harlow. Robertson has a little bit of room to work. He'll cross center and dump in. Hathaway behind the net. Leonard can't find it. Fulton does now. Taking back over. Centering pass. Hits a skate. Slapper coming. That deflects over the top. The shot was by Rossi. And it pops right back out in front. And Diebold's going to cover it.
Yeah, that was a really heads-up play by Scotty Diebold. A few extracurriculars here going on between Preisbeck and LeBoeuf. Now you see Diebold immediately turns around, recognizes it. It looked like it was about to just hit him and drop into the net, which certainly has happened. I'm sure you can find as many video clips as you want. Poor goaltender getting caught off guard by that, but Diebold immediately turned and spun and found the puck. So just a really good heads-up play.
And that's the sign of a goalie being locked in, as Diebold has been in this one. Schrader runs into a wall there at the red line. Taken over by Leonard. Schrader up the boards from McGowan, trying to move it into the zone. He does. Steele stops it. Goldberg plays it. Rossi. Stopped up by Schrader. Now Rossi again. Here is Jake Goldberg. Swatted at by McGowan. Loose puck controlled by the Engineers. Dolan to Bokenfour. McGowan just lost the handle. Picked up again by Craig Bokenfour. Into the zone, 2-on-2 are the Engineers. Schrader pulls it back. Still Schrader to the backhand. Schrader shot. And a save made. May have been headed wide anyway, but a tricky move by the RPI junior. He's yet to score this year, but he's had a number of chances, much like that one. 7 assists for the winger out of Prior Lake, Minnesota. His brother Jordan in the NHL with the Vancouver Canucks. There's a wrist shot coming, and Diebold didn't see it. Luckily for him, it went wide. Poked at to the point off the stick of Laredo. Now his shot goes up off the glass behind the RPI goal. Moved to center by Haggerty. Taken over by Leonard. Leonard carrying in. Haggerty one-timer, and that one off the stick, I believe, or the arm of Steele up into the netting.
Yeah, he just blockers it away, and love to see that. Leonard steps up, makes a little pinch, steps up into the play, and dishes across for Haggerty. Just out for a little rip, fires one, taking a shot, and Steele made a good save from the outside. Never really had a chance.
Face off in the zone. Babella trying to pick it off the wall. Now it's scooped high in the air. Gloved at by Karate. Karate lost his stick. I believe it was knocked out of his hands. And that's not easy to do by Lamacchia. May have been caught up actually in his own bench area.
Yeah, it looked like he just reached up for the puck and obviously took one hand off the stick to try and grab it and forgot about his stick with the other. Needed to play though.
Here's Goldberg for Brown. Haven't created a lot of real good scoring chances in this third period. Credit the RPI defense there. And where Scott Diebold has had to be on his toes a couple of times, including that play that just happened from across the behind the net.
Yeah, that's, you're right. They, Brown's been pressing, and Diebold's had a little bit to do, but all in all, the Engineers have done a fine job just sort of keeping it out of their end in general. But Brown's doing a good job. They're crashing and flurrying and trying to create some chances. They definitely have 10 minutes left. No reason to give up yet in the hockey game.
Shots 22-17 RPI as it shot from the Bears goes wide behind the net, kept in by Goldberg just for a second. LeBeuf throws a hit. Leonard picks up the puck. Played behind for Rogic. He gets bumped. Lost it for a second. Trying to dig it free is Preisbeck. Leonard runs Preisbeck over. Tenorti backtracking. Creates some room. Fulton looking for the look-ahead pass to Rogic. That one's broken up and shot right back in by the Bears. Leonard for Guy LeBeuf. Tenorti on the carry. Up ahead, Robertson intercepts. Goes through everybody. Engineers touch up. Shot in by Leonard on goal. Gloved and quickly released by Steele. Laredo stick handling through center. Runs into 4 Engineers. Stays on the puck. Laredo trying to throw it in front. It's knocked away and picked up by Bokenfour. He'll shoot it out to center. Good weight on the pass for McGowan. McGowan walking in. A shot goes wide. Caroms all the way out to the point. Picked up in the slot now. McGowan trying to get back on it. Taken back over and shot to center ice. Bokenfour chops it forward for McGowan. 3-on-2 for RPI if they hurry. Drops it all the way back. Schrader and couldn't get the shot off. It was broken up by Robertson. Robertson now carries. In the air to center ice for McGowan, who backhands it right back in, and Miller's going to get there. Under 8 to go in the third. Neclario throws it towards the point. It leaves the zone. Or no, it doesn't. Excuse me. Miller keeps it in. Tough to see. All along the near side there. Preisbeck. 2 center just gave it away to Leonard. Trying to turn it back into the zone. Higgs lost the handle. Shot in with some help from Leonard. Zaleski skips by Haggerty. Backhanded behind his own net by Harlow. Centering pass out in front. Zaleski shot saved by Steele. He robs Zaleski there. That's 3 big stops in this period, at least, for the freshman netminder for Brown. Keeps it 3-1. Fighting for the puck. Leonard throws it right into a scrum that was already going on between Higgs and Harlow. to the point for Goldberg. Wood wrists one, firing wide intentionally just to get the puck down low. Higgs to Zaleski. Engineers may be at the end of a shift here, and they are. Zaleski's going to dump in and go on a little kamikaze mission here. Neal kicking at it. So RPI changes 4 behind Zaleski. Just like they draw it up. Karate shot deflects, looking for another deflection. That was Neal in front. So it's the Bears who take over. Shooting into the near corner of the RPI end. Karate to center for Neal. On for DeVito. DeVito flips it off the backboard. Babella gets it right back. Babella stick handling in front. Neal trying to stick it home. Saved by Steele again. Huge hit thrown on Middleton, and he is slow to get up. No arm went up for a penalty. I believe that was DeVito who delivered it again. And Middleton on all fours here as he was drilled.
Yeah, Perry, you're right. I didn't see much in that hit. I think, unfortunately, Middleton was just on his way down, and I think he might get a look at the replay here, but I think he might have just gotten his head caught right on the dasher where the wall ends at the top about 3.5 feet above the ice. There's a little bit of a lip there that goes over to the glass, and there is not, if your head collides with that area, there's not many good ways that ends up. So Middleton just, I think he was falling down. I don't think there was anything really poor in the hit. I think he just got a little unlucky to be stuck in that situation. But so far, this is pretty much exactly what the Engineers want. This is his first whistle in a few minutes at least. At least 3-4 minutes here without a whistle. They had a good chance there. Haggerty throwing a pass out in front to Zaleski. Kyler Steele laying out with the pads to one side, sort of like I'm sure Jerry Knightley saw a lot of goaltenders do.
Stack them up.
Back in his day, but it worked. Maybe Zaleski wasn't quite sure what to do, and Steele made the save, keeping his team in it.
Face-off moved out to center by the Bears. LaBeouf just cranks it right back down the ice. This should be icing on the Engineers. With that stoppage, we'll take a quick look around the league. Clarkson leading Princeton 4-3 in the third. Union on top of Yale 4-2 in the third period. They're over in Schenectady. 6-1 Colgate at home against Cornell. And St. Lawrence leads Quinnipiac 3-2. That is in Connecticut. So a couple of interesting scores there. And, of course, 3-1 here. 5:32 left in the third.
Yeah, definitely, Perry. Union, Yale, that's always going to be a good game. Those are two high-flying, high-scoring teams, and Union getting the better of them. And then Cornell-Colgate, a little local rivalry out in central New York. It's, Cornell usually plays a pretty strong defensive game. Mike Schaefer has a tendency towards big, strong defensemen who don't allow that many goals, but 6 is a lot.
There's a giveaway and a save by Diebold. Wow.
Yeah, good stop by Scotty Diebold, out and up. Obviously, a good job by the Brown Bears to get that chance. McClario, the leading goal scorer for the Brown Bears, getting that opportunity point blank, but just didn't quite do enough with it, and Diebold traps it under his path.
Teo, this is just a 2-goal game there, and if that one goes home with 5:09 left, the fans here, all of them will be sitting a little bit further off the edge of their seat.
Yes, definitely. I think that would be a big goal, certainly with 5 minutes left. And RPI has been, they have more shots, but they have a few more chances, but I don't think they've been really extremely outplaying the Brown Bears so far. It's been pretty back and forth, and obviously the Brown Bears have a very talented first line with a lot of ability to score. So,
and that's not something you're going to see as this season goes on. There's not a big difference, and we've seen it there with even that St. Lawrence Quinnipiac game. There's not a real big difference between 1 and 12 when it all comes down to it any given night, or any given Sunday in the ECAC, any given night here in this league. seemingly anyone can beat anybody.
Oh yeah, well that's definitely true. That's why they play the game, I suppose.
Miller back for karate as the Engineers still have that 2-goal lead thanks to Scott Diebold. That one shot in from center ice by Miller. A little over 4 minutes to go. Wall to center, stick handling there. And getting knocked down is the freshman Rossi. He'll learn not to do that in front of the RPI big defenseman. That was the buff. That time delivering a hit. Now a chance for Zaleski. Is a poor play by Steele. He nearly gave it away. Created his own problem, but made the save. Now Haggerty's onside, and we get a whistle.
Yeah, not good from Steele at all. The puck was rolling into him, and he had his stick out, and he sort of unconventionally is almost bending over to try and reach down for the puck. And maybe he should have just butterflied and come out and fallen on it, but a little misplay, and Zaleski with a clear chance just didn't quite get the luck that he needed.
In soccer, they say he made a meal of it, and I think that's the best way to describe what happened there. A simple play that he probably should have just handled.
Absolutely.
3:38 on the clock. As LaBeouf has it, over for Leonard. LaBeouf to center. Have a hospital pass there for Bubella. He stepped away from it. Into the zone come the Bears. Hathaway down low. Finding Lamacchia. Shot from the point deflects wide. Neal up the wall. Kept in by Wood. Now Leonard. Can't get it out. Shot deflects, and that one, I believe, stopped by Diebold on the redirection. Backhanded out to center by Bubella. It was kind of a blind pass. If he had found either Neal or DeVito, it would have been a 2-on-1, but not the case. Now Robertson fires it in from center ice, and it'll be gloved and held onto by Diebold.
Yeah, like you say, Milos Bubella twisting off the wall there. That play scares me because just as you say, it could have found Neal, or I forget who else was out there. Tyler Steele's going to head to the bench. Yeah, could have found Neal or DeVito. Could have just as easily found the stick of a Union defenseman or forward looking to jump up and bury. So down a goal now. The Brown Bears will go to 6 men as Alex Steele comes to the bench.
An early pull of the netminder for the 6th skater here with 2:51 to go. We've seen Seth Appert do this on the other end of the ice, but we're seeing Coach Whittet do it now for the Bears, and we get a whistle here and an offside, the late offside called on Brown.
Yeah, Perry, it's not unusual with your team being down 2 goals, trying to battle back. You got to give your guys as much of an opportunity as you can.
They're giving us the attendance as 4,820, which is capacity, I guess. So there may be more people here than that, but I guess not legally. I don't know. Anyway, a sellout crowd, of course, here for the Big Red Freakout. Schrader throwing in front, tipped and a goal! Mark McGowan gives RPI the 4-1 lead.
Yeah, great hand-eye for McGowan there. Just Schrader coming in, sort of stopping up at the near side wall here, and just sort of lobs one into the middle. McGowan driving hard to the net, giving a good effort, and reaches out and just catches the tiniest piece of it. Looks like Steele was trying to just jump on the pass. Looks like it might have deflected off a Lappin stick on the way into McGowan, but anyways, good job by McGowan, and that definitely should seal it for the Engineers here in the 37th Big Red Freakout.
Tough luck game if you're Steele, who's played superb, and look up in the scoreboard, there's 4 goals against him. Fulton walking in, he takes a shot. That one's blocked by the defenseman. That's Hurahan, the stand-in.
Yeah, Perry, definitely. I think Alex Steele has not set his foot wrong that many times today. Just a little unlucky in that situation, and just a couple of situations where his team put him in a spot where he would have had to come up with something really special.
Wraparound try by Fulton. That one goes wide, but the puck stays in the zone. Fulton trying to hand it off to Tenorti, who also had a wraparound try moments ago. Minute and a half to go. Slapper coming. That goes wide off the stick of Harlow. Haggerty ahead for Zaleski. Now Higgs into the zone. He'll feed it in front. Zaleski shot, save, and a whistle coming. A penalty on Brown is now Zaleski is going to get into it with the goalie. Steal, and we don't want to see this happening again.
Yeah, I think what happened was Zaleski had a few extracurriculars going on here. Zaleski was tied up with the Brown defenseman, drew the penalty, and I think he took the opportunity, as many players will, and they won't lie to you about it either. He just slid himself straight into Tyler Steele, the Brown goaltender. So taking the opportunity to sort of run into him, and I think Steele took exception to that. And,
certainly did.
Right as everybody jumped up, I think it was Tyler Steele taking his waffle board off and maybe taking a swing at Mike Zaleski, and now they're down there, I'm sure, exchanging nothing but the most choice words.
So as they're separated, you remember before the game we were talking to Coach Whitted, and he, as a player, told us he hadn't coached. This is his first game coaching in a Big Red Freakout against RPI, but as a player, he remembers it was just chaos and in a bad way. That's what he said, and that's really what the Engineers have done at points in this game, especially early on. They scored the game's first goal, took a 2-0 lead, and Brown never really has threatened that lead throughout the game. They had some chances, but RPI has been in command seemingly on the scoreboard.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right. They that goal at the start was really big, and they've been out ahead. They've been out ahead since that point. So the Brown Bears have tried to battle back a little bit, and they obviously picked up that power play goal on the 5-on-3, but they've had pressure, but just hasn't been enough. Haven't sustained pressure. Really haven't gotten 19 shots on goal. That's just not gonna be enough to win a lot of hockey games, and especially with RPI accumulating 29 shots on goal, you can't expect your goaltender to go out and have a day like that and win a game for you if you're only going to score once.
Trying to still sort out these penalties, and unlike the Mayor's Cup, I didn't see any gloves get dropped here, so I'm not expecting anything worse than maybe just a misconduct here.
Yeah, I didn't. Like I said, I think I saw Steele, who you're getting a look at. I think I saw him take his blocker off. Of course, at that point, Zaleski still would have had a metal cage in front of his face, so I'm not sure what he really expected to accomplish. But goaltenders, they're definitely protective of their area, and the defensemen and goaltenders alike they will more often than not take exception to a collision like that.
So Steele's going to get a penalty here. Of course, he can't serve it himself, so somebody else will be in the box for him. Steele gets a rough. Higgs in the box as well as Zaleski.
Yeah, right
so
now
it sounds like a bunch of roughing calls.
The board shows 2 minutes for Brown, for Matt Harlow, who also accumulated a rough. But
kind of surprised that RPI. Actually, the initial penalty was against the Bears. So
yes, that's right. It was,
when all things said and done, the Engineers are still going to get a power play out of this.
Yes. So just by a quick count here, though, of the men in the penalty box, something seems a little bit amiss, but could have just been misconducts.
Yeah. Looks like Harlow's just going to sit there. Anyway, back to action here. Minute 20 left. Engineers on the power play here. The puck will leave the zone. It was a good stick by Hathaway. Dolan back to Leonard.
So the Engineers are up 5-4. That faceoff just came out, I think, because the Engineer defenseman collapsed down into the little scrum that was happening near the net. And that
puck skips in on Diebold. He'll flip it back out to center. McGowan scored RPI's most recent goal, his second of the season, and that line has really picked things up offensively. Shot from the point, loose and swept away. by Wall. And the shot came from Dolan. 36 seconds to go. Engineers still executing here. Break it out for McGowan, near side into the zone, looking for Tenorti. That's intercepted by Goldberg. Trying to clear, and they can't get it out. 17 seconds to go. Tied up in the corner. Bodies flying in. There's Tenorti. Loose between some skates. Wall picks it away and moves it out to center with 4 seconds. Trying to get their Hourahan. Spins around top of the circle. Fans on the shot. And there is the final horn. The Engineers take the 37th Big Red Freakout by a score of 4-1 over Brown.
Yeah, Perry, definitely well-deserved. They outshot Brown Bears here by 10 shots, 29-19 in the final, and took advantage of one power play. But overall, a good showing from the Engineers. Just keeping it easy work for Scott Diebold in net today. He didn't have much to do. A lot of shots came from the outside. 19, even if they're busy shots, is not an extremely big tally.
The Engineers finish with a 29-19 shots on goal advantage. They also take the face-off by a 37-32 margin. RPI 1 for 2 on the power play. The Bears 1 for 4. Remember, there was a 5-on-3 power play that allowed the Bears to get back in the game 2-1. It was their only goal of the game, obviously. That was way back in the first period. The Engineers generating 3 power play shots to Brown's 5. So the Engineers come away with the Big Red Freakout victory in front of a sellout crowd here. Just what the doctor ordered for the Engineers as they head back on the road next weekend to continue ECAC hockey play.
Yeah, definitely, especially coming off of that tough loss last night against a Yale team that they had on the ropes at multiple points. So that's big. You know, get out here in front of a big crowd, get the energy going, put on a good showing. Really, it was a pretty quiet game. A little bit of excitement at the end. And got a big win in front of their home traveler in the Big Red Freakout.
3 Engineers at multi-point games. The captain, Matt Tenorti, 2 goals. And a goal and an assist for Mark McGowan. 2 helpers for the senior defenseman, Bo Dolan, helping the Engineers to the Freakout win. And we have Charlie downstairs. I believe he's with Mark McGowan here. They are ringside.
Threw it there and got a lucky tip in there.
Yeah, that's the way it happens a lot of the time. Break down gameplay for me. Was there anything special about today's gameplay, or?
No, it's just doing what we're doing. We executed our plan, and it showed in the game. Third period, we came out and just finished it off. Unlike last night, we let one go, but it was a good team win today.
Yeah. With yesterday in mind, was there any huge differences or minor differences even between gameplay today and yesterday?
No, it's just sticking to our plan for the full 60 minutes. Yesterday, we took too many penalties, were undisciplined, and Yale was able to come back on us. But tonight, we just stuck with it and had a good team game.
As you head into the locker room here, what's going to be the main message for the rest of the team as you look forward to next weekend against Colgate?
Let's just take confidence from tonight and from how we've been playing the past couple of weeks. We've been had some good games, just playing the way we can.
And more of an informal question, how does it feel to be on the ice during Big Red Freakout?
It's amazing. The fans are unbelievable. So it's just exciting. No words to really describe it.
All right, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. You're watching Engineers Hockey live on RPI TV.
That was Mark McGowan, of course, the Toronto, Ontario native and junior, picking up his second goal of the year. Also had an assist in the game as the Engineers come away with the Freakout win. It's always big when the team wins on whether it's a homecoming or Freakout, these big event type games, and just for the whole morale of everyone involved. I've been here for some games that have been lopsided in the other direction. So it's nice to see the Engineers come away with a solid victory like they did this evening.
Yeah, definitely. And like we said, with the loss last night, come away with from this weekend with a good taste in their mouth, and then hopefully they'll have a good, hungry week of practice this week and get back at it out in Central New York this weekend. I think they play Colgate on Friday, and then Saturday they should head up to Cornell. Is it Cornell Friday?
Yep.
Yeah, or Cornell Saturday, right. So they'll head up to Liner Rink on Saturday.
Looking at the teams around the Engineers in the standings, RPI now up to 15 points. They jump Brown. Yale still sitting on 17. As they are trailing right now Union late in the third period. So, Teo, an exciting game here, of course, and RPI, most importantly, picking up ground in the standings, trying to climb into those top spots.
Yeah, definitely, especially with one of those teams that's right around you. You want to be able to pick up points against them. Not only do you get the points, but keep them away from them. So that's a big victory from the Engineers. And,
any takeaways for you, Teo? I know it's a big game, of course, but I know you play still for at a pretty high level. So what's the biggest thing for you? Take away from the Engineers, how they're playing. They're playing how Coach Appert wants to play. I think it's the most important thing.
Yeah, they play a lot of good team defense, Perry. Really they are all very committed to the team and playing defense. They all come back. Like I said, they keep everything to the outside and make Scotty Diebel's job very easy. So it's really incredible to watch how committed they all are to keeping pucks away from their goaltender.
And it has to be big. I know you're only a sophomore, but it's got to be big for the seniors who are going to leave RPI, having their last freakout be a big win in front of a huge crowd. All the alumni that came back, I know they're all friends, over 70 alumni, as I think Jim Knowlton pointed out during our second intermission interview. But it's got to be big for those seniors who go out with the win in the Big Red Freakout, because these are the games you remember. You don't remember maybe last year going out to Brown in the playoffs or anything like that. It's the big, exciting wins and the fun you have with your teammates. I think it's the biggest thing to take away here.
Yeah, Perry, these are definitely the ones that'll stick with you. The big games, for any team, no matter what. For RPI, it's the Big Red Freakout and the Blackout game, which was back in October, and obviously for the teams that play like the outdoor games. For all of those are the most memorable. Those are the most memorable for any player. So. So this will be a great memory for all those seniors, and I'm sure they'll look back on it fondly.
Well, Teo, for everyone watching, thank you for watching tonight's game. It was a 4-1 victory for the Engineers on the 37th Big Red Freakout. So that's Teo Camadilla. I'm Perry Lascaris. For everybody here at RPI TV, would like you to thank you for once again watching tonight's game. Final score was the Engineers 4 and the Bears 1. This has been RPI Hockey on RPI TV.